Hello, everybody. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. How's everybody doing? Well, let me tell you about my adventurous night. It did not go as planned. Hey, Jen. How are you, sweetie? Um, do you want to be a mod? I know you do that on your channel. Let me know. Driving a Gallatin, but I'll listen. Well, I'll see the socks or the feet. Maybe I'll see the socks or the feet. Yeah, no kidding. Why don't make sure you're driving safely? Because hopefully I'll give you all a good laugh. My night did not go as expected. My day didn't go as expected. Yours truly is tired again, and not. Hello, Taurus. Welcome in. Nice to see you here. I don't know if you're new here, but welcome in. Um, Close your ears if you're Jeff's driving. Oh, okay, good. Close your ears if you know it's a little dirty. So I told you the story. I don't know, maybe I didn't, but let's just say last night was a cross between living inside a Friends episode and feeling like I had booked myself into a vibrating bed inside a cheap, sleazy hotel for 4 hours while my neighbors below me did the ooh, 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 and the whole building was going boopity boop, boopity boop, boopity boop. So at about 1:30 in the morning, I was ready to take my fucking witch's broom and just be like, fuck you. But then, anyways, I was talking to my girlfriend about that. And she started laughing. Fuck her. No, maybe not fuck her. Yeah. So Sharon and I laughed today because just before I moved, another neighbor had moved in the wall, and there was a single lady beside me where my daughter and I moved into, where the place I just moved out of. And then another guy moved in and it was the same thing through the walls. I don't know if y'all remember me telling you that. And I'm like, excuse me, my girlfriend Sharon and I were like, maybe the universe is trying to tell you 17 years too single, too long. Man. Anyways, I did not go invite for a bloody Caesar because I don't know. I'm really weirded out about the whole thing. Like playing some good luck. I have. That's the thing. It's not so much the noise until about 1 o'clock. Um, and then I had to take a melatonin because like I was just like, wow, like this is just so creepy, gross now at this point. A few minutes, but 3 hours in, your whole body's going, oh. Um, so I had to take a melatonin, and I cannot get the drowsiness off when I take a melatonin. So the readings that I was going to do today will be uploaded tomorrow. But anyway, I did confirm. Hold on. Hang on. Can y'all still hear me? These headsets are a pain in the butt when I go to fall out. That was it, Donna. That was it. That was the story. Are we a little cranky today? Good. Thank you. You know, Donna, that's just kind of rude. And coming from a mod, I'm just like, it's just rude coming from a mod. So I don't know. You and I are going to have to have a conversation because that's the second time on a stream on a live you really piss me off, and you're my main mod. So that's for my neighbor. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. My apologies. That's why you have to be clear, right? You got to be really clear when you talk in the chat because I just read what I read and I don't know. So be really specific when you're in the chat. And I've said this over and over again. So thank you for clarifying because I was kind of pissed off and offended. So, you guys don't see all the things I have to delete, and Jen can attest to this comments, the sneer, the snag. Like when you get in the mode where you're in the constant receptive of negativity, you expect some comments that come off being kind of negative that they're on the negative side. So if you don't clarify, I'm not going to try to psychically figure out every friggin' comment. It's too energy draining. So just be specific, please. Anyways, so all that to say, I am waiting for the RCMP. I did email them this morning to get back to me about going and searching if it's safe to do so. And it's okay, Donna. It's my misunderstanding. But when I am interpreting it towards me, that's how it comes off. So as long as you are specific, that's fine. It just, I don't know who you're talking to when you're saying, oh my gosh, finish already, as I'm in the middle of some saying a story. It's very easily to be confused that you're talking to me, right? So anyway, so I did email them this morning, and I'm going to go visit with their permission. I don't want to be in the way. I want to make sure that I'm going to be safe. I've sent them the areas that I want to. Thank you, Donna. I know, but that's why a couple times I've been surprised because of miscommunication. So that's why I'm saying we got to be like specific, sweetie. Okay, mwah, specific, because I don't know. Like, I can't be expected to be reading everything like energetically. I can't. I won't do it. I won't even try. Like, I can't. I didn't meditate to be zoned in for this. But all that to say, I'm waiting to hear back. My girlfriend said, yes, go. She's going to Newfoundland if the fires. Yeah, text is the same way. She's going to Newfoundland at the end of the month for a trip, assuming the fires in Newfoundland are squashed, and not, because it's like fires are pretty bad there right now. Pretty bad in Canada on the West Coast too. So I'm waiting to hear if I am the area that I want to search. I don't want to be on private property. I don't want anybody coming out with a gun, because I'm trespassing or anything like that. So I'm just waiting to hear back, and I'll be going before the end of the month if I go. So I'll keep you posted. And today, did y'all hear I had to buy a subscription to the Globe and Mail? Did y'all hear the news? I'm sure you guys have heard the news. Let's go through the news article of the Globe and Mail. Since I have to squint to read it, I'm just going to share. This is very concerning, y'all. This is really concerning because it paints another narrative of planning. Hang on, I'm gonna try to do it. Property lines would be a good thing to have a neighbor's numbers and addresses to ask for permission. Yeah, exactly. This is really concerning because this article that came out in the Globe and Mail just today, 2 hours ago, well, it would have been a few hours ago because it's already been posted on a few channels, but is very concerning. It gives a lot of updates, and it suggests, well, it doesn't suggest, it outright states that the neighbor next door was working on his car and heard a car go in and out of the property 6 times that night before between midnight and 5 a.m., which makes it, they didn't just walk out the back. Likely it puts a whole different theory on the case. Yeah, well, we're going to read it through now. It puts a whole other theory in the case, and it's also concerning because it's validating what I also told the RCMP on May 8th. Not they disappeared, they were reported missing May 2nd. I didn't give this information to the RCMP after it came out in the news. I know. I wonder if it's the neighbor I have a circle around. I don't know, sweetie. Let's go. We'll go look at the map after. I want to read the article. We'll discuss it. Then I was going to go look at the maps. Then I want to talk about a new case that we're going to start, and then some Sebastian. I started looking into last night for Sebastian, some possible residential schools for autistic kids near the ocean in Alaska, and there's one, and there is one. And there's several, and there's one tied to a church that has been rehomed and renamed, which I haven't found yet. But there's some. So I want to look at that as an option too. And but let's read this, because this means that, in my opinion, that there's foul play, whether it was pre-planned from the parents or whether it was a pre-planned from someone else. It says at her home in Middle Muscodobois, I'm not pronouncing that properly, Nova Scotia, Lilly and Jack Sullivan's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, keeps a photo of their first day of school, September 2, 2024. The children were reported missing to police on the morning of May 2nd. Let's just continue reading. I'm already a subscriber. Why isn't it giving me the full article? There we go. Oh, for the love of God. Hang on, let me go back in the other way. Try to be prepared. The Globe and Mail is like, welcome to Canada. It's like a vault to get into it. You got to pay, and now I got to put a password in. It's like, for the love of God, you're just a newspaper chain. Like, you're not like, it's not like you got brick, brick bars in your freaking vault or anything, for the love of God. Hang on, because I had to subscribe to get it, and now it's not coming up. Well, does that ever tick me off? Does that ever tick me off? Hang on. This is so strange, y'all. Gotta love when you're prepared. Like, I had this whole link done and I had to do it. I redid it this morning twice just to make sure. And now it's like timing me out. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. There it is. There it is. But it's still not letting me in. Okay, well, now I'm kind of ticked off now, because I'm going to have to message them, because I've paid for it and I can't get in. I got called off. I got news. I got called off. What does that mean? What does that mean? You got called off? Boss called me off work today so I can be here. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, that's great. I'm just trying to get this again. Well, okay. I got it finally. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was quite the effort. Like I said, welcome to Canada, where the government tells Google like they don't have a right to, and Facebook put news out there that they don't deem appropriate, So you got, it's like it's like Fort Knox here in the Globe and Mail. So I got it. Okay, so deep in the middle of Nova Scotia, far from its quaint coastal towns, sits Landstown, a hamlet of about 100 people in a cellular dead zone. It's surrounded by endless spruce forests, bushes like razor wire, and bogs that breed swarms of black flies. Like many faded settlements across the Maritimes, Lansdowne reached its peak more than a century ago. About 150 kilometers northeast of Halifax, it was once a busy railway stop, bustling with Scottish immigrants who dug iron and copper mines deep into the hillsides. Today, those mine shafts are abandoned. One lone train a day cuts through the community with a melancholic glare. Most of the people here live in a quiet rural existence in secluded homes scattered along backcountry roads that only the locals know, where chickens and large dogs roam free and the rusted skeletons of old vehicles sit marooned in the dirt. No kidding. Much like the American Appalachia, this once prosperous corner of Pictou County is now economically stagnant. 1 in 5 children live in poverty, higher than most other counties in the province. It's pretty sad, actually. And that is pretty sad. It's here where the lives of Lilly and Jack Sullivan were implanted 2 years ago to a rundown trailer set back from Highway 289 with their pregnant mother and stepfather. They needed a place to live, and their step grandmother, who owned the home, welcomed them to live with her 2 years ago. This is the picture of Daniel, and we weren't sure when it was taken, but we know now that it was taken. Now he's claiming, by the way, that he took Malaya's truck to go and search for the kids. I thought he had said ATV, but according to the Globe and Mail, this photo was taken from Lilly and Jack's home in May. Daniel waited there with his brother Justin for news for the search for the children. So presumably after they were four-wheeling. So it looks pretty clean if they were four-wheeling that morning. I thought he said originally he was four-wheeling, but now I've heard him say that he took Malaya's car, or so. I think it's in this article. Anyways, let's just see. Life for Lilly and Jack, Lilly 6 and Jack 4 inside the cluttered trailer in Landstown was chaotic. There were holes in the floor, guys, of the front stoop, I guess not inside the trailer, so better. Tarps, though, to protect the underside of the trailer from the elements. When winter comes to Canada, it's pretty brutal, especially in Nova Scotia. The elements, the wind, the snow is wild. So much racket from the lively children at their grandmother, soon retreated to a camper in the driveway. So apparently they lived with Janie in there at first, and then she moved to the laneway camper because of the noise from the kids. So rats in the house? No way. Hey, Barb, I want to say you don't come in the lives a lot, but there is a new feature that Barb's been using that I think I mentioned you guys a while back that YouTube said I could access, so I did, where you guys can pin articles and stuff in the readings. I'm not going to cover them all, Barb, but they're good for you all if you want to see other videos and whatnot and content. Barb's been in pretty much every video and live posting links to other videos from other creators and whatnot, other stories. So thank you, Barb, for using that feature. Anyway, so I'm just curious to how much patience Janie had. Now, I think it's a lot to ask anybody in a small, enclosed area like that. So, I mean, I couldn't do it, nor would I want to. So I kind of can see that. So anyways, their stepfather, Daniel Mortara, 34, with pale eyes and ropey arms, worked at the local hardwood mill. Their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, 27, a member of Sipineki Ketik First Nation, my apologies, I'm probably brutalizing it, with chin-length dark hair, stayed home with their baby, Meadow. Inside the mobile home, a large wood stove filled up most of the living room. The kids' artwork was pasted to the kitchen wall next to the sliding door that led to a yard where they spent hours playing next to the chicken coop. Lilly chattered away to her dolls and stuffed animals. Jack turned over rocks and pieces of wood and searched for bugs and worms. Outside the fenced backyard and up over a steep embankment, the children sometimes played in a small fort nestled beneath boughs of spruce. It was like their own little dream world. Most days, Lilly and Jack hopped on the bus to attend Salt Springs Elementary, a rural school about 20-minute ride from home. Jack, smaller than his peers, was strapped in at the front of the bus next to his sister. The morning the children were reported missing, the big yellow school bus rolled past the mobile home without stopping for a second day in a row. Jack and Lily were usually standing by the side of the road waiting to be picked up. But earlier that morning on May 2nd, their mother had marked them absent from school at about 6:15 a.m. Both parents have said it was because Lily had a cough. Then they said they heard the children playing in the next room. So let's go back to the context here. Hey, Kitty. Um, let's go back to the context, which we're going to get to, and then I want to discuss this more. But if Malaya called at 6:15 and the neighbor heard a vehicle entering their property 6 times between noon and 6 a.m. or 5 a.m., sorry, and then they were called in to school 6:15 that they were going to be absent that day, that seems of like a very interesting timeline to me. A very interesting timeline. I also am curious if you were up at 6:15 to report them absent because Lily had a cough. They heard the children playing in the next room and they dozed in the bedroom with their toddler. So, I mean, I guess I'm having a hard time. Happy birthday to your son, honey. Happy birthday to your son. I guess I'm having a hard time wondering if you're already awake at 6:15 and you know your kids are likely, I mean, most kids don't sleep until 9, young kids. Like, it just feels like irresponsible to go back and doze off. I don't know. I just, it just, and I've already said that, like at the very minimum, she's, not going to win Mother of the Year award because she didn't want to get her butt out of bed. So they said it was because Lily had a cough. They said they heard the children playing in the next room while they dozed in the bedroom with their toddler. Daniel said he saw Lily pop in and out a few times. At about 9:40, the couple says they awoke and realized the kids were gone. They were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. So how did they know? Well, I'm guessing Janie told them. They knew, and the next time we knew it was quiet, she's told the CTV Atlantic. We got up. I tell my partner, Daniel, do you hear the kids? He says, no. Instantly, we're looking outside. We are looking everywhere, yelling for them. By the way, it is apparent that they're quoting Malaya from her first interview because I think she refused to interview them for this article, okay, or interview with them, rather. I think that's my understanding. Jack and Lily's mysterious disappearance has, sorry, I'm going to read that again. They were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. So who knew they were outside playing and let them play alone? I'm guessing that was Janie. I'm not sure. And the next time we knew it, it was quiet. She told CTV Atlantic. We got up. I tell my partner, do you hear the kids? He says, no. Instantly, we are looking outside. We are looking everywhere, yelling for them. Jack and Lily's mysterious disappearance has baffled the country more than 3 months after they were reported missing. After one of the largest searches in Nova Scotia's history and an intensive police investigation, police still haven't confirmed the circumstances of how the young siblings went missing. It's possible that there were clues, even potential warning signs in their home life. No kidding. A closer look into the lives of Jack and Lily shows that all was not well in the trailer in Landstown. Here's the picture of Belinda Gray at her kitchen table in the town she lives in. I'm not going to butcher it again. Where she spent long hours in the woods looking for clues to Lily and Jack's whereabouts. Her son, Cody Sullivan, separated 3 years ago from the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. Apparently, according to Melinda, I think we said this yesterday, her son was cleared quite early on by police. Malaya is a member of the Sipni-Katik First Nation, where her father, Henry Brooks, is among many waiting for news. He remembers the last time he spoke with the children. Jack said he loved him. This, I assume, is her father on the left and Daniel on the right. Where Daniel Martell is on stress leave from his job at a hardwood mill, he says people in the community sometimes give him dirty looks, suspecting him of having something to do with the disappearance. That morning, Jack's blue dinosaur boots were gone, so were Lily's pink rubber boots and her white backpack with strawberries. The only clue left behind, according to the parents, was one child-sized boot print in the dirt driveway a few meters from their home. Malaya called 911 at about 10 a.m. Daniel said he jumped in her white SUV and left to check nearby dirt roads. Now, culverts and streams. Okay, so wonderful. It's a wonderful day. Welcome in a wonderful day. Um, is that different? Is that different from what he said originally, which was that he jumped on the ATV? Was that not what he said originally? Did y'all know? Let me know, because that seems to be a different story. Uh, Soon, an army of search and rescue volunteers arrived wearing orange hunting vests. They fanned out, conducting a grid search in the swamp and thick woods around the home. Drones and a helicopter scoured overhead. A police dog on a leash with a handler set about the yard. Police combed every inch of the property. They rummaged through the mobile home, reached inside a hamster cage, tore apart a brush pile, unzipped the suitcase lying in the middle of the yard, opened the top of the dryer at the end of the driveway, peered inside the chicken hut, searched the camper van where Daniel's mother, Janie McKenzie, lives three times. I'm not sure what that means. I think that's clearly a typo. That morning, Malaya messaged the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray. I never thought they would run off on me like that, she wrote. I'm so distraught. Hours later, and still no sign of the children, Malaya floated the idea that Jack and Lily were abducted. Many are suspecting they were picked up by somebody, she texted Belinda, because there is no trace of them or Lily's backpack. Daniel, meanwhile, was tearing through the woods on foot and wading in streams, telling people he was moving faster than the police helicopters. That day, carloads of family members pulled up to help search. In mid-afternoon, a non-encrypted radio channel crackled with voices of emergency responders. Families brought us to a location there not far away. There's a piece of blanket which the mother says she believes belongs to her daughter, radioed an official. Emergency responders dispatched a canine unit to the site where they seized Lily's pink blanket torn and wound around the lower branches of a spruce. It was about a kilometer from the mobile home off gravel Landstown Road. Okay, so that's helpful because now we can go a mile to the map. A mile, let me take a picture of that. It was about a kilometer from a mobile home off the gravel Lansdowne Road where Daniel's father and his uncle live. The road runs deep in the backcountry, connecting with dirt roads that snake further into the wilderness to remote lakes, backwood dumps, and clear-cut tracts of land. When a police officer asked Daniel about the pink blanket, he said it wasn't Lily's at first. Interesting. And then police began pounding on the doors into the early hours of the next morning. They came to the door of Daniel's father, Earl Martell, a retired tire plant worker who lives atop a hill in a bungalow he built for himself 40 years ago. In this picture, it says this is where Daniel says the child's boot print was found on the spot marked by the blue pipe, a few meters from the camper where his mother lives. So the boot print being right about here is interesting as well. So emergency responders dispatched a canine unit to the site where they seized her blanket, torn and wound around lower branches. Again, I read that, sorry. Officers peered into the corners of his living room, jumbled with the craft supplies and Hot Wheels of Daniel's two school-age biological children who would often visit on the weekends. Earl guided the police into the yard to old campers and a derelict log cabin filled with junk, and to Daniel's older model black sedan in need of repairs he couldn't afford. Look at that. Like, unbelievable. This looks like a pretty creepy. I'm assuming he's not living there anymore and that he's now on something else. Police checked Earl Martell's property, home to a cluttered cabin and old campers for Jack and Lilly in the middle of the night on May 3rd. So what does that tell me? That tells me that this is May 3rd, okay? Even though they were searching in the back and telling everybody publicly, which is, police, right? They were telling everybody publicly that they believed the kids walked away and were behind in the back in the bushes. Even though that's what it tells me publicly, it doesn't it doesn't bode in this. They showed up to search at 3:00 in the middle of the night, it says. In the middle of the night on May 3rd. They went there to surprise him. Daniel's father, Earl, they had to suspect foul play. There's no way they would have shown up in the middle of the night searching his property if they thought the kids left out the back door and walked into the trail. So, in other words, they have been spinning a narrative on the media online in their reporting that doesn't fit their behavior. Now, there was also a statement that they were also treating everything like it was a possible crime. So, I mean, they would have known, don't forget, they would have quickly known what we have now since learned, which you're going to hear, I think, more in this article, is the children were reported abused by the school, and Jack showed up with black eyes more than once, which we're going to get to in a minute. The police would have known that. So they probably were just in case doing both, is what I'm guessing. But it tells me they suspected foul play early on because they showed up in the middle of the night in Daniel's father's property. So it's very interesting. Police also banged on the door of the home of Belinda in Middle Musquodobois, about a half an hour from Lansdowne. They were looking to talk to her son, who had been living there for the last 9 months after losing his roofing job. But Cody Sullivan hasn't seen Jack or Lilly since he and Malaya separated 3 years ago. He'd cut ties after she filed for custody of the children. Over the coming days, police returned twice more to interrogate him and take photos of vehicles. Through the night, search and rescue volunteers combed the woods, and helicopters and drones that can detect body heat scanned overhead. Malaya was up too, texting with Belinda. Malaya writes, "I have reason to believe that they may have been taken by someone," she wrote. "They should have been found by now if they were in the woods." The next morning, Belinda set out to help search for her grandchildren. As she drove towards the trailer on Highway 289, past the trail of orange traffic cones, it hit her where she was headed. Over the last 2 years, Malaya had distanced herself from Belinda. She stopped bringing the children to visit, later explaining that Daniel was jealous and didn't want her going there or giving out the address. The grandmother said she had never been invited to the house until she showed up to help in the search. Belinda didn't know this was the home of her grandchildren, were living in, a home that she'd noticed multiple times on her way while driving to Halifax. Wow, she says she thought as she stepped inside to speak to Malaya. Everything she saw, from the junk-strewn yard to the cluttered kitchen, was the total opposite of the neat and tidy woman she used to know. Even though she'd heard it once before, she needed to hear it again. "What happened?" she asked. Malaya opened the low, rumbling sliding door in the kitchen, demonstrating how she assumed the children quietly left the home while she and Daniel were sleeping. Well, Malaya Belinda recalled saying, "You're the mom. You know these kids better than anybody. So where do you feel they'd go? What would take their interest? What direction would they go?" She had no idea. I also looked for Dolphin for the bridge that you were asking about the other night. I don't know if Dolphin's in the chat, but the bridge, I don't know where the Daphne's video, I don't know if this is the bridge or not. This is Lansdowne Road, at about a kilometer from Jack and Lilly's home. So I assume this is the bridge because it's where the police seized Lily's pink blanket, which has been since sent to forensic testing. The roads around the children's home wind past an array of rural properties, train tracks, natural gas pipeline, and a small lake. I think that, well, once I'm gonna go to the map. But anyways, so what I wanted to say is Daphne removed the video and I was gonna go look for it, but I think this is likely the one she was talking about. That day, as search and rescue teams trampled through the woods, rolling ankles and plucking ticks from their skin, Malaya stood on the side of the highway in front of a local television camera. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful they're feeling warm. So I want you to listen to that statement also. It's been raining. So why is that RV or ATV rather of Daniel's so clean? Because I do remember him saying he went up to their cabin. He ran up to their cabin. Now maybe he went by foot, but you would think if you had an ATV, you would use it. And it seems, especially if you think the kids have run in the backwoods, and it seems awfully clean, although maybe it was rained on. Um, she says, anyways, it's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful they're feeling warm, she said, swelling back tears. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. She also took to Facebook pleading for the police to issue an Amber Alert, a national police alert to help locate abducted children. I want my babies home. My children are not shy to strangers and will go with anyone. They don't understand stranger danger, she wrote on May 3rd. Daniel has also pushed for an alert telling the Globe that the abduction is abduction is a possibility. Something he said he tried to raise early on with police, but he said they looked at him like he was crazy. Perhaps it was because the home is so remote where a few travel or have reason to pass by. Also, Nova Scotia police require specific criteria to activate an Amber Alert, including a description of the child, abductor or vehicle, and a reasonable grounds to believe an abduction has occurred. Now, here's what is interesting. I guess they wouldn't have had a specific vehicle. I think in the Amber Alerts, they have to have a specific vehicle make and model. And so maybe the neighbor didn't really know, or they hadn't spoken to him yet. And why days later, if they spoke to the neighbor, they didn't report it, is maybe he didn't know what kind. We can assume he didn't know what kind of vehicle. And they have to have reasonable grounds to believe an abduction has occurred. In this case, RCMP have repeatedly said they have no such evidence. I asked them to go to every airport, all the airports, and intake for different provinces, PEI and New Brunswick, Daniel said, breaking down crying. They'll go with anybody because they're undiagnosed autistic, and they will go with anybody as long as you offer them food or water. Say, I'll take you home to mom or dad, and they'll immediately get with them. Well, I heard they were being taken to see Uncle Larry, so I don't know in my vision. But while the search team continued their work from this base camp in Lansdowne Station, Malaya and Daniel Martel pressed police to issue an Amber Alert to look for tips from far afield. It was late afternoon that Saturday when Daniel and Malaya's relatives began to turn on each other. In the dooryard of the trailer, discussion about meth use in the home led one of Malaya's family members to hurl an accusation that Daniel must have something to do with the children's disappearance. The charge ignited a blaze of angry words. Eventually, Daniel's mother, Janie, ordered some of Malaya's family members off the property. Just up the road, Daniel and Malaya waited at the search and rescue headquarters for an update from police. It was around supper time when officers pointed out maps where searchers had been. Suddenly, Malaya said she wasn't feeling well. She walked out with Meadow on her hip. Now, that's also very interesting. That's a very interesting. I don't know, man. There's something about her walking out and her car being towed towards towing that I find curious. Malaya said she wasn't feeling well. So it was about around supper time when officers pointed out the maps where searchers had been. Suddenly, Malaya said she wasn't feeling well. She walked out with Meadow on her hip. In the back of an ambulance, Malaya sobbed uncontrollably. Her mother, a registered nurse, Cindy Murray, at her side. Daniel pleaded with Malaya to speak to her alone, but her mother stepped in front of him. Sydney, get the fuck out of here, Daniel recalled saying. The women hustled to, wow. So Daniel's yelling at her mother, Sydney, get the F out of here, Daniel recalled saying. The woman hustled to Sydney's car, strapped in Meadow, and sped off down the dirt road. I love you, Daniel called out to his child through the rolled up back window. I don't know what's going down there. I don't know if they just, maybe Malaya found out that all her family had been kicked off the property. I'm not sure. Belinda emerged. I just don't know why she had her car towed and she didn't drive. It's just weird for somebody that doesn't have a lot of money. Belinda emerged from the woods just before dark. It had been 36 hours since the children had disappeared, and she was considering sleeping in her car to begin searching again at first light. But then she learned Malaya had left Lansdowne, something that has troubled her ever since. If she could leave, Belinda said, her chin quivering in sorrow, that meant she knew her kids weren't coming back. Daniel was also upset that Malaya left. I've been the only one there for them. He sobbed in an interview. She can't control them. Only I can. I don't believe that. They act out whenever she's there. She always gets me to calm them down or get them to stop fighting or feed them or get them up or put them to bed. Every night she was asking me to do everything. It just breaks my heart not to ever see everybody, not to ever see everybody. The day before the children were reported missing, the Mounties say the children were observed in public with family members. It was the last time they were seen by anyone outside the home. Daniel has said in an interview that evening before the kids disappeared, everyone was home. He said he spent the evening working on the fence in the backyard. It's just interesting they picked the night before to work on the fence. So this is where yesterday we were wondering about the tools, and here we get, him admitting the night before they were working on the fence. It was a night just like any other for the young children. He added, though, that he couldn't remember what time they went to bed. There's also at least one, well, he says he did everything, so he couldn't remember. There is, however, at least one account of a strange activity at the mobile home that night. RCMP spokesperson Corporal Carly McCann confirmed that the police received a tip on May 8th from someone who described hearing a vehicle coming and going from the mobile home throughout the night before the children were reported missing. Investigators are continuing to review and assess more than 600 tips from the public and follow up on over 800 tasks, she wrote in an email. A neighbor who spoke to the Globe and Mail said they reported this information on May 8th. The neighbor said they were working on a vehicle in their own yard when they heard the same loud 5-speed car come and go from the trailer about 6 times between midnight and 5 a.m. After the children's disappearance, the neighbor considered it important information and reported it to the police. The Globe agreed not to name the neighbor because of concerns for their safety in the community. Well, that's interesting. Dozens of people, including some members of Jack and Lily's family, attended a candlelight vigil for the children outside the Stellarton detachment. For the next 5 days, search and rescue teams poured over the area. On the 6th day of the children's disappearance, police announced they were scaling back. It was unlikely, they said, that the children were still alive. In the following weeks, Searchers returned twice more. They zeroed in around the home and natural gas pipeline, a clear-cut trail of land that runs through the countryside where possible child-sized boot print was found. Lilly's blanket was also nearby. Police divers scoured lakes. They drained the septic tank of the mobile home and inspected 4 abandoned mine shafts in Lansdowne, a search that's eerily familiar for locals. Oh, here we go. Remember this? We talked about this a few lives ago. In 2002, amateur mineral explorers discovered the remains of a man who had disappeared 19 years earlier in one of those old copper mines. 39-year-old Alex Penny's car was found abandoned on a dirt road in Lansdowne months after his mysterious disappearance. It's a chilling homicide that has never been solved, one that rattles around in collective memories of the people who live here. Police have said they plan to search more of those old mine shafts for the children. A provincial database shows 5 within several kilometers of the mobile home. So maybe we can look at the mine shafts here because I've got a link to the database in this article. Dozens more pepper the backwoods and rural highways of Pictou County. Excuse me. Police have described this case as highly unusual. No kidding, eh? Most missing person cases are resolved shortly after they're reported to the police, but the disappearance of Jack and Lilly has become a complex and intensive major crime investigation involving a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work, said RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McMahon in the update last month. The Nova Scotia government offered a $150,000 reward for information. So far, the Mounties say they've drawn on units from other provinces, interrogating dozens of people, sought 10 judicial authorizations to seize records or search warrants, administered polygraph tests, took possession of electric devices, viewed thousands of video files, and are awaiting forensic tests on items found during the search, including Lilly's pink blanket. So that suggests there were other items because it's plural. 5-speed could mean ATV, you think? I don't know. Let's read through the article and then we're gonna deep dive. We're gonna go to the map. We're gonna look at some mines. Hey Chris, nice to see you, honey. We're gonna go look at some mines. We're just gonna go look at some clues based on this article here. Let's just finish it and then we'll go through it for specifics. But to me, items found during the search. Daniel initially told the police in the Globe and Mail on May 5th that the pink blanket found in the woods did not belong to Lilly, but he later changed his story. In a subsequent interview, he suggested that the blanket was planted, taken from his week-old garbage. Interesting. He also claims 2 of his sweaters were mysteriously disappeared from his home after the kids went missing. He declined to elaborate further. Let's see. Did somebody try to set up Daniel? I don't think so, but that's what Daniel's claiming. Behind the scenes, people's concerns for the children's welfare had already raised red flags. A child protection supervisor in the nearby town of New Glasgow rushed to prepare a memo for Deputy Minister Craig Beaton about Jack and Lilly on the day the children disappeared. According to redacted briefing notes obtained by the Globe and Mail through the Freedom of Information legislation, 2 weeks later, in mid-May, another memo about the children was prepared for senior staff in the province's Child Welfare Department. Opportunities and Social Service Develop. 2 weeks later, in mid-May, another memo about the children was prepared for senior staff in the province's Child Welfare Department. Opportunities and Social Development Minister Scott Armstrong, who also told the Globe he asked for more information about his department's interaction with the children, has so far declined to discuss how the government responded to concerns about Jack and Lilly's well-being prior to their disappearance. The CAS has to get their crap together in this country. Sorry, they just do. And I don't think it's just Canada. I think their hands are somewhat tied, but this has to stop. we're investigating with, there's a child that you're investigating that has black and blue eyes. I'm not sure why it's allowed. It's government red tape to drag its ass on for months and months and months. Like, I don't know, man. What is known about Jack and Lily's interaction with child welfare authorities is that a social worker came to the trailer over concerns raised by the school several months before their disappearance to access their home life. Teachers and other professionals who work with children have a legal duty to report if they have reasonable grounds to suspect a child has, may have, or is about to suffer abuse. And home visits occur when there's reasons to be concerned about a child's safety and care. Daniel, however, told the Globe that the visit was related to the kids' learning difficulties at school. He said the children were suspected of having autism and were scheduled to see a doctor the same month they vanished. He declined to answer further questions about the involvement of child protective staff in the kids' life. Okay, so he wouldn't answer the child protective staff. So this is the school, starts Salt Springs Elementary School, which is about a 20-minute bus ride from their home in Lansdowne. A child protection social worker contacted through the school paid a visit to the mobile home. So that's not learning disabilities. That would be a totally not a child protection social worker, maybe a social worker, but not for child protection. From outside, there were signs that the children's home's life was strained. They were developmentally behind other children and arrived at school grubby and without appropriate winter clothing, prompting staff to provide it for them, according to a school board employee with direct knowledge. So, I mean, that's sad, you know, grubby and without appropriate winter clothing. And they were living in a mobile home that needed a tarp to, keep it from the elements. So, I mean, it could have just been neglect, I guess, at this point, according to the school board employee with direct knowledge. The Globe is not identifying the source because they're not authorized to disclose details about students. Last December, Jack came to school with a black eye, according to a photo of him posted by his elementary school. The photo of the class trip on December 13th, 2024. 5 months before he and his sister disappeared, shows him sitting next to other students in the forest with a green and purple bruise below his left eye. This makes me sick to my stomach. I don't know if you can see it yet, but yeah, you'd have to zoom in. Nice. Nice. I'll try to, well, I don't know, you can see it even here. So anyways, black eye in his face, bruise eye below his left eye. Another photo shows a possible black eye and bruising on Jack's face in a photo taken in September of 2024. This time, an injury that Daniel defended on social media, saying it was caused by Lilly. Oh, sure, blame his sibling. Y'all, does this kind of sound like it's giving me CP vibes here? The denials of abuse. It's kind of giving me some of those vibes. And I said, yeah, I'm just going to say it at the very beginning. Everybody was coming out. It's Malaya. It's Malaya. Malaya. Remember my readings? My readings all were saying that he had violent tendencies. I'm still going with it's him. It's come out in the readings over and over again that he's got a temper. So anyways, Daniel did not respond to questions about how Jack received the black eye in December, but in a private Facebook message that were shared with the Globe, he acknowledged Jack had many black eyes. Wow. Jack had many black eyes. One time Lily punched him in the face, he wrote. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Hasn't Lily been described, not to take up for Daniel, but siblings do fight? Yes, I know. But black eyes, Jen? I mean, seriously. Like Lily, that's what I was just about to say. Lily has been described as a sweet little girl, has she not? By her own parents, not a child who had aggression issues. And how hard do you have to hit to give him a black eye? I mean, yeah, that's it. They were saying how close they were, never Never did they ever say that they fought, you know. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. My grandsons fight all the friggin' time. And I've never, and they're boys and they go at each other. Like it's wild. They're super close and they fight. Never ever would it get to a point where one of them gave each other a black eye. Like it's just, where are the parents? Where they're allowing Lily to punch him so hard, so many times? A 6-year old. You have to remember, this is a 6-year old, that he would get a black eye. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I just don't. He also said Lily had a black eye when the children went missing from an incident with a Tonka truck that occurred on May 1st, the day before children disappeared. She pushed down on the truck and it swung up and hit him in the face. Where's the scratches? Where's the scratches? The family was under pressure. A confluence of financial woes left the couple turning to relatives for help. Like many lower tier workers at the mill, Daniel has been cut back to one shift a week during the spring thaw because of the annual ban on heavy logging trucks on soggy local roads. His car off the road because it needed repairs he couldn't afford, wasn't drivable, and he had to rely on his uncle, who also worked at the mill, to take him to work. Okay. This is maybe the person that we were talking about that he worked with, I'm just curious. Or Malaya, whose maternal grandmother had recently helped her buy a white Nissan SUV. Daniel's father, Earl, said he bought the couple groceries and gas and provided firewood to heat their home. Daniel, however, denied having money problems and had claimed to friends that he was getting into investing and turning his life around after a divorce. Investing in what? Like, if you've got no money to put winter clothes on your kids, I just think investing in something is, yeah, I know I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it as being Lily. I just don't. Struggles didn't end there. Malay described Daniel's controlling and said he wanted out. She said she wanted out. Now, this is also something that I said in a reading at the very early on, that she was already planning to leave him before the kids went missing. And apparently I was right. And it says so right here. So let's go back up because I'm interrupting a lot. Uh, Daniel's father, Earl, said he bought the couple groceries and gas and provided firewood to heat their home. Daniel, however, denied having money problems, and he claimed to friends he was getting into investment and turning his life around after a divorce. Other means of cash flow had also been cut off. In recent months, child support payments from Jack and Lily's biological father had stopped after he lost his job. Malaya's monthly Canada child benefit check or baby bonus, which under federal guidelines would be about $1,900 per month, was halted because Daniel hadn't filed his taxes, which were due by April 30th. The struggles didn't end there. Malaya described Daniel as controlling and said she had wanted out, writing in a message to Belinda on June 15th, "I never wanted to stay there." Belinda wrote back saying she wished Malaya would have reached out. "We would have done what we could to help." "I know," Malaya responded. "My mom is saying the same thing." Sydney, Malaya's mother, declined to be interviewed. After the children's disappearance, Malaya also confirmed in her paternal grandmother, Connie Brooks, a member of the Sipkinitik First Nations, my apologies for the pronunciation. She described how Daniel would hold her down and take her phone. He was having her, I don't know what you call it, scared. She couldn't go anywhere or do anything, Connie said. "That's what she told me, and that's what I told the detectives." When she asked about her granddaughter about drug use in the home, she said Malaya told her that Daniel concealed a drug addiction for nearly the first year of their relationship. Daniel did not respond to questions about these allegations, but he had insisted in interviews with the Globe that he's never struggled with drugs and does not have a drug problem. Despite that, he admitted to taking methamphetamines and pretty much everything methamphetamines and pretty much everything. What does that mean, Daniel? You don't do drugs, but you take pretty much anything or everything. Quote, pretty much everything. He said he recently started attending Narcotics Anonymous 3 times a week and is taking online courses in anger management, depression, parenting, child protection, substance abuse, suicide, violent behavior that are recognized by child protection officials. I have to clear my name for CPS, he said. It's best to do that. Okay, so I mean, they don't tell people to do this without evidence that he had issues. That's just wild. So I just am blown away at how accurate um I have been. Yeah, like, and I don't know what their expenses would have been, but that's, I have been pretty accurate in my assessment in this case. So I'm also consistently trying to reevaluate it, but I also think I have a pretty good theory on this case thus far. This is Connie Brooks from Sipney Katik First Nation at home with her son Henry Brooks. Says Jack and Lily's mother told her Daniel would sometimes restrain her and take her phone. She told police about this. Ay, caramba. I just want to see, who's Connie again? Too many names for my poor brain. She pushed him down. I don't know, man. There's, to me, Malaya's confided in her paternal grandmother. Okay, sorry. So this is her mother's side of the family and her uncle. This is Malaya's grandmother and uncle in this picture. You probably all figured that out already. I'm just reminding myself because I had too many names. Without answers, theories abound. For some, maybe they're a way to hold out hope or shift attention elsewhere. There are those who believe the children are still alive, taken or hidden somewhere. One such rumor circulating in social media group chats is that Lily and Jack were taken by one of Malaya's relatives and are being held on a reserve. The rumor prompted Sipney Katik chief Michelle Glasgow to respond on social media. That whole dialogue was made up by a racist fool, Durwood, by the way, and anybody entertaining it is a racist fool, she wrote in a text message she posted to Facebook on July 10th. The vacuum of information about the missing kids has stoked a voracious demand for clues and conjecture on social media and in the online true crime community. One of the most popular online sources in the true crime amateur community is It's a Crime and Shame. Well, I don't know that they would be one of the most popular YouTube channels, but in this case, absolutely. And kudos to Sunny because she has been bringing in all of the family, right, on her interviews. So it's pretty cool for her to be recognized in the national newspaper. So good work for them. So one of the most popular online sources in the true crime amateur community is It's a Crime and Shame. I don't know if I like the word amateur either, Globe and Mail. This is where mainstream media is now. People don't have to pay and log into a vault to get access to news through YouTube. But anyway, it's a Vancouver-based YouTube channel which has morphed into exclusively discussing the case. Its live streams about Jack and Lily have been viewed 500,000 times for several hours, multiple times a week. Host Sunny Austin invites guests on the show to discuss the case and rants provocatively, calling out those who she disbelieves in the case of Jack and Lily. Daniel frequently pops up in her live chats like a whack-a-mole, she says. Belinda has also called in as a guest. Most recently, she presented text messages with Malaya, who, when reached by its phone, refused to verify whether the text messages were hers. Malaya has also repeatedly declined to be interviewed by the Globe, saying police advised her not to speak to the media. She also said she has put her faith 100% in the authorities to find Jack and Lily. On the ground, the high-profile case has conjured up other drama. Recently, a local online content creator arrived at the home of Malaya's mother, Sydney, under the auspices of buying a horse trailer. Hey, remember we all watched that? That video, which I thought was pretty, yeah, I wouldn't do it to somebody, but hey, he got the video. The man serendipitously recorded a 45-minute interaction with her partner, Wade Paris, discussing the missing children and the posted the video online. In interviews with the Globe, Daniel has said he had nothing to do with the children's disappearance, and he said he has passed a polygraph test with police to prove it. He lamented the stigma the case carries over into his everyday life. His own stress leave from the mill, people stare or give him dirty looks wherever he goes out in public. Recently, at a used car dealership, he said a salesman snatched a vehicle key from his hand and walked away when he realized he was talking to Jack and Lily's stepfather. His Facebook is filled with direct messages from strangers calling him child killer. Where are the bodies? He said they ask every day. But then a profile that the Globe and Mail has previously communicated with Daniel on also appears in Facebook chat groups, frequently offering up riddles and conjecture that the children were taken by someone they know and are being held prisoner. As long as I remain the target, the sick person or persons that have kids may relax and make a mistake. RCMP better capitalize on that, the user wrote this week. What? Let me repeat that. I'm not sure if I'm understanding this. I know, Chris. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. But I'm wondering if they've just told him to not. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I respectfully disagree with you in this one, Jen. I think some serious abuse went on here. I do. Um, Let me read that again. So he lamented the stigma. He lamented the stigma the case carries over into his everyday life. He's on stress leave from the mill. People stare or give him dirty looks whenever he goes out in public. Recently, a used car dealership, he said a salesman snatched a vehicle key from his hand and walked away when he realized he was talking to Jackson Lily's stepfather. His Facebook is filled with direct messages from strangers calling him child killer. Where are the bodies? He said they ask every day. But then a profile that the Globe and Mail has previously communicated with Daniel on, somebody that they appears in Facebook chat groups frequently, offering up riddles and conjecture that the children were taken by someone they know and are being held prisoner. Does anybody know anything about that? Has anybody heard anything about that? Does anybody know it? Thanks for doing the YouTube things. Thanks for doing the YouTube things, sweetie. I exactly. This is scary. This is scary. I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty new to true crime and dove right in. So you didn't know? Okay. And dove right in, um, with Sebastian. So I can't really say never heard the Facebook stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm assuming that the RCMP know, but then a profile that the Globe and Mail has previously communicated with Daniel on. So this person, the Globe and Mail has asked Daniel about, it sounds like, and tried to ask him about this person in a Facebook group that keeps trying to, give clues or conjecture and riddles as if the kids are being held prisoner. Well, that's really gross, and that's very concerning. And then he says, as long as I remain the target, the sick person or persons that have the kids may relax and make a mistake. RCMP better capitalize on that, the user wrote this week. Wow. That is very curious. I don't know what that means. I'd like to do a reading on that. His mother, Janie, has said she also believes the children are still alive because she says they have never gone into the woods by themselves or wandered off. A self described hermit, it took her more than 2 months to speak publicly. Doing an interview for CBC and releasing voice memos in a public social media chat, she said she heard the children playing in the backyard from inside her camper on the morning they disappeared, and she too believes someone took them. In Malaya's Mi'kmaq community of Sipkniki Katik, her father, Henry Brooks, is hopeful his grandchildren will be found. He says the last time he spoke with the children, Jack told him he loved him. It's weighing heavy on me, he said, really heavy. At her home in Middle Musquodobois, sorry, I'm brutalizing these town names, Belinda spends her days alternate, alter, alternately tending her sprawling back garden and advocating for her missing grandchildren. She appears on YouTube live streams and in social media chats, picking up breadcrumbs along the way she hopes will lead to Jack and Lilly. In her blue and white kitchen, where Jack once crawled across the laminate floor and Lily hammed it up with her gardening hats and old glass eyeglasses, she is resigned to a grim reality. I think somebody there must know what happened, she said about the mobile home in Lansdowne. I don't believe my grandchildren are alive, but to not get answers, it's like, no, no, there's no answers out there. Two kids just don't disappear in the morning and nobody knows nothing. So if they don't find answers outside that home, then the answers are inside the home. In hindsight, she says she wishes she would have pushed harder to see the kids, to see Lily on her birthday in March. Looking at the photos of the children from the past 2 years, she noticed they looked thin, possibly malnourished, with dry, cracked lips, something she says she might have picked up on had she seen them in person, and it makes her wonder about the other adults in their lives. She had recently learned others had concern about the children's safety in the home. She also wants to know what child protective social workers knew prior to Jack and Lily's disappearance, whether they suspected the children were abused and what was being done about it. I hate to say, but every one of us failed them. We all failed these kids. Yeah, Belinda, I hate to say it too, because I've already said it. Um, you know, yeah, I gotta like restrain my eyes now. I have to read. I have to read with one eye closed. Like, I don't know. So I didn't want to be like this. So now my eyes are like from reading. I gotta get my eyes checked. Anyways, it's very sad. I had not read the full article at all. So I'm reading with you for the first time. And it's very sad. And I just, I just want to go and look at the map now. We don't have Jen with us, but I'm going to do what I can. Um, I've always said that what took place with Jack and Lily happened the night before around 10. Yeah, and I told the police that too, that I feel like it happened that night, like in the middle of the night. Um, both parents know where these kids are. They know where these kids are. I'm here. I'll try to help. Okay. Uh, Becky says he's probably a bad person who gets angry easily, hits the kids, plus doing drugs and other things. Yeah, and I don't, having been in abusive situations, it's not, I mean, had she spoken to her family, she's probably embarrassed. Like, I'm not saying she's Mother of the Year. I'm not saying she's innocent. I'm just saying the element of abuse is a whole different, it brings a different dynamic, right? It's like I don't know what um I don't know what her mental state would have been like if she's learning he's a meth addict. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Her mother, that interview that we saw that guy taped, that they weren't aware of, sort of leads us to believe that Malia wasn't super, innocent as a child either. But anyways, okay, so I want to go back to the article and let's go to the map. I just want to go reach this peak. Let me pull up the kids' maps because their map, because Jen's map. Okay, yeah, that's the other thing we want to look at. Okay. Yeah, well, that's it. We don't know. But if we look at the map, let's zoom in. There's really not more than one neighbor, I think, that would be able to hear. Like, let's we zoom in to their home. I'm just gonna turn everything off just for now, just so we can look at that. Leanne did it without getting booted out. Okay, so now we've got their home. Let's just look at the closest neighbor is not here. It's this one right here. There's only one neighbor close by. Only one neighbor close by. Look at between their house and this house. Let's just go the other side. Well, I guess that one is probably not that far away either. But he's farther here. Okay, well, if it's Lansdowne Road, might be this one. And this is the one that I picked up the mines, like the train tracks, this way. Okay, I'm gonna put some, I don't know which neighbor, but it's got to be one of the two. Okay, I've got them all on. Get them all on. I just want to see where the lines go. Okay, you know what? That's too many lines. That's too many lines. I just want to see what lines. Jen, I'm not looking at the screen, so you might be telling me, what are you doing? Okay, so we've got Malaya's Saturn in Aries is fated with her Chiron right over the neighbor towards Lansdowne Road. And then this neighbor missing, we've got no lines. I don't know if that matters. Turn on hotspots. Okay. To the left, I'm out of town until tomorrow evening. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That was what I was originally thinking. But I didn't see until I opened it that there was actually a closer neighbor. So there's the hot spots. Lansdowne. And now we're looking, let me pull up the article. Where's it's at a kilometer, right? Inside the, hang on. Trying to find the article, exactly where the blanket was. It's a long article, Leanne. Did I take a picture? Sorry, everybody. It's okay. Torn and wound around the lower branches of a spruce about a kilometer from the mobile home off the gravel Lansdowne Road. Off the gravel Lansdowne Road where Daniel's father and uncles live. Interesting. Well, hence why they were searching his dad's home in the middle of the night. Okay, kilometer down Lansdowne Road. Is that about a kilometer, Jen? That mark? Is that what you've marked? Oh, I must have moved it. That's where I'm asking a question within the hotspot. This morning I put, who is the neighbor? I did have the neighbor circle because the line's over his house, but I guess I removed it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, because this was new for me when I opened it up. So how do I get a kilometer down the road? I'm gonna, I wonder if I can I enable GPS tracking? It's the kilometer down the road on land, so that's about a quarter of a mile. Okay, I'm in kilometers. A quarter of a mile is there's 2.2 miles in a kilometer, is there not? Kilometers, 2.2 miles, I think. Okay, whoops, am I going the other way? 1 kilometer is no, it's the opposite way. Sorry, y'all. Jesus, I should know this. It's 0.62 of a mile. So we want to go 0.5, we want to go 0.6, so we want to go double in here. So we want to go a double in here and down in here, maybe. I'm just going to read the article again. Seized a pink blanket torn and wound around the lower branches of a spruce. It was about a kilometer from the mobile home off the gravel Lansdowne Road. Okay, off the gravel Lansdowne Road. So probably in around here. Probably right in around here. Which, okay, now what do I put on? Okay. Okay, so what am I putting on Malaya and Daniel? They're on. Why is nothing? Let me reboot it because nothing is coming up. Okay. So we're going to go down around. So right in here, Jack's in Gemini. I think it was, okay. What do you think the odds are it's here? I'm just wondering if it was a direct diversion, a deliberate diversion. I don't know, man. So here's the neighbor. Nova Scotia goes through here too. I don't know what that means. Canada. It's funny, last night I was like, I feel like I'm always focused to the east of the house. I don't know, because this also takes them to here, which is, didn't they say near the hydro line? So it's right, like right in here somewhere. But the hydro line is up here. So that's why I'm a little confused. It's like the, I don't know if the dimensions are working because I thought they said near the hydro line. So it's not really around the hydro line. So I don't know. Is Pluto, it will be by her Chiron. Is Pluto will? Oh, I did it again. I did it again. So I don't know what any of this means, but Jack's in Gemini and SN in Sag, same as missing person in Jupiter. I'm looking for Daniel. Jack's in Jupiter. Daniel's, I don't know if Daniel's in this graph. In this section, Jack's Neptune. Daniel doesn't show up here. So I don't know. Crystal lines won't ever change. If there are notes, you got to double click to read them. His Pluto will be close to her Chiron. I haven't drawn it in yet. Started working on Jaden Spencer. Oh, so funny because that's what I want to work on is Jaden Spencer. This is the new case I was just saying I want to work on. So interesting. Okay. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'm going to go back to the article and look at what do you all think? Let's tell me what you think now before we could. I'm going to go back and look at the chart, but I want to look at the article a little more. Tell me what you think based on this article. Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Because yeah, we're gonna talk about him in a little bit because he's the next missing child, and man, it's not good. I don't know if y'all have heard about it, but JLR came out with some article. I guess mom's got a history, just like the one we read of, regrettably. And he's been missing for a couple days now. So this, I don't know. It's just what I'm not understanding. The train is interesting to me. The train is interesting to me as well because this is right where the train is. But what's curious is why they're saying that they found them by the hydro line. That's like a different. If this is a kilometer, let's just say this is a kilometer, Jen, you know your graphs, then that's another half a kilometer away from the hydro line. So I'm not sure. Train is interesting. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. But what I want to ask is, what's your theory of the case now? What's your theory of the case now with this new evidence of a car going in and out of their house? And it would be interesting to know that that was the neighbor. It could have been the other neighbor. Maybe it was a deflection. I'm not sure. The other thing, which was interesting, I wanted to ask Jen, if you're looking at the graph, is Donna Serafina She thinks they're southeast. They're both guilty of harming this. I know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Southeast. She thinks southeast down this way. Let me pull it up. In Glengarry Station. And there's a lake down here. Hang on, let's see if I can zoom in. Where's the lake? Where is the lake? I had it this morning. I think this might be it right here. Let me see. Is that it? No. Trying to find the lake. Come on. Glengarry Station. Let's zoom back in. Is this it? Branch Lake. Because there's also Daniel's line goes right through it. I think it was Daniel's. Is this it? Maple Lake. Hood Lake. Come on, Glengarry. Black Lake. Oh no, it was another lake name. That's why. Dawson or something. Hood Lake, Maple Lake. I'll see it. Barren Lake. I gotta check an email that I got. Is that connected to an email I got? What the heck? Where did it go? Sucker Lake, Barren Lake, Fish Lake. Look at all the freaking lakes around here. I'm too far out. I don't know why I can't find it now. When is there a Glengarry Lake? I don't think so. No. Is it? No. I don't know what I did. Okay. Go back out because I now don't know what I've done. Let me go back up. Finding my parents. Holler at y'all later. Okay. Sounds good. I think if they were found by the train tracks, it would help them because it will appear they were hit by a train. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Amanda, you don't think it's a deflection? I think Daniel and Jaden purposely tried to discredit the neighbors and feared. I think Daniel and Jaden purposely tried to discredit the neighbors and feared that they knew or heard something. I don't think it was a deflection. So you don't think, yes, Joyful, you're coming in late. I've already said we'll look at it. I did try to go back and I did look for you this morning. Daphne's bridge that she referenced is probably the one in this article, but Daphne's videos have been moved to members only. So I can't say for sure that that's the bridge in this article, but I think it is. I don't know, y'all. If there was a car that went into their laneway between midnight and 5 a.m., let's just talk through this. Why would, I mean, Janie would hear it. Was that the neighbor who thought there was a party because he heard so much noise? Would they, Janie's dogs would have heard it. Why did they never make mention of it? Is very interesting. I doubt the neighbor would make up a story. I mean, unless they were the ones that took the children. It's all very bizarre, and I'm starting to really, I think something's happened. I'm really starting to believe something happened before it was reported, and before it was reported. So, so there's two Lansdowne roads. Let me go back to the article because there's Lansdowne Station Road and there's Lansdowne Road. I wonder if we went the wrong way. Damn. Let me go back up. Lansdowne Road, not Lansdowne Station Road. But I've also heard somebody correcting that. Lansdowne Station Road, about a kilometer, would have been, if I just take this distance about from the home and I go this way, I'm gonna end up right about here where Jen's got a circle, or here. I don't know. So what do y'all think what do y'all think? What do y'all think of this? What's your thoughts now? Do you think this was a planned abduction, or like by one of the parents, the family, or do you think the stranger was driving up and down the road? And then I'm going to go back and we're going to look for, there's a link to the mines, and then we'll look for the bridge. I don't know the name of the bridge. That's what I was saying. There's a picture of it here, but I'm going to have to get on. I'm trying to look up the article again. There's a picture of the bridge. So she would have to be there. I'll check if she didn't call the kids off. Well, that's it. Like she would have had to call in with the kids. Let me find the article here. Where the bridge again. I'll go to the bridge for you first. Dolphin, I've said this before. If I could wave my magic wand and I would just be able to find kids every day, all day, that's what I would do. Okay? You've asked me to look for the bridge. I'm looking for the bridge. So if you can't stay on topic, I'm going to just time you out. Okay? That's what we do here every day. So thanks, Chris. So here's the bridge. And it appears that it's down the road I'm guessing this is Landstown, that this bridge is on Landstown. So let me just see if we can see the bridge, and that might help us. Like, I don't. I mean, I don't see a bridge on Lansdowne so far. I mean, we're going pretty far out. I don't see a bridge on Lansdowne. Let's try Lansdowne Station Road. I mean, I don't see a bridge on this road either, so I have no idea. Yeah, I just don't see the bridge. You know, unless it's off one of these roads here. Article says Lansdowne Road. I just don't see. I haven't found it yet. So it's pretty far away if it's like we're still not running into it. So there's some aspects to this article that I don't know might be inaccurate. Let's try the other Lansdowne. And then I'm going to go to the mine shafts. The mine shafts that are also linked to this article. Sorry, hang on. Thanks, Chris. Oh, yes, joyful. No worries. It's just you asked me to do one thing, so it's trying to do it for you, but I can't make miracles happen, regrettably. And like I said earlier, I tried to find for you last night and this morning again, but Daphne has put her videos to members only, and I don't have the money to join members only. I had to pay $5 to get the article we just read, and when you don't have money, that's it's a lot. So I can't just jump in and do all these things that you guys want. That's why I asked you to get me the name of it, since you know of it. But I don't see it here. I just don't see it here. I mean, is this a bridge? I mean, presumably the bridge would go over water. So I just don't know if I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna ask chat. How's that? All the bridges in Nova Scotia archives. Anyone's interested? Oh, interesting. Okay, that's cool, Deborah. Okay, let's go to the article. I want to look at the shafts because there's a link to shafts and old mines. What is your gut tell you? I want to know in the chat, what are your theories in the case? Tell me what your theories are, in my opinion. And I'm just not focused in this direction. It doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just not focused in this direction. I have told the RCMP I want to go searching in this area. In this area. Okay, this is the area I want to search in. This area. That doesn't mean I'm wrong, or right, rather. Could be totally wrong. But could be totally wrong. Okay, I'm just going to look for the link. Where is the link? So we're going to do a members live Sunday. Haven't figured out what time yet. Saturday, you'll have a bunch of videos to go up tomorrow because I was up last night. There. Okay. Mine shafts. Oh, weird. That's so weird. I know two other men with the name of the person that did this drawing, two other people with the name, same name. So, well, this is going to be a little harder to interactive map, user's guide. Let's see if I can figure this out with y'all on here. Okay, so well, it provides a link, but how I use it is a whole other conversation. It's not taking me right to Gerlach like I thought it might. Zoom to all. I don't know, y'all. I didn't have time to go. I guess I could have tried to figure this out before a reading, but I didn't read through the whole article before. So maybe we'll do this another day because, man, I'm not sure how to use this puppy. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Yes, in my psychic eyes. I don't know what that means. They're at the bridge. Over there, you'll find them. The kids are at the bridge. In my opinion, I truly believe Daniel spazzed out and her one of the children. They had to take over her children because they witnessed. Yeah, they had to clean it up. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Okay, perfect, honey. No names. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I can't figure out how to use this map. So I think it's supposed to be, it's the link in the article. The Geoscience Atlas is supposed to show the 5 mine shafts close to the home, but I'm not locating them. I'm not locating them. So I don't know. Anybody feel any energy this way? This Landstown way? Well, it takes a while to learn. Like, I don't even know what I'm looking for on this map, really, truly, yet. Okay, let's go on. I thought we would try to dig into some areas, but man, I'm not able to find it. Let's move on to the other case that I want to follow. I want to start this new case of Jaden Spicer. Have you all heard about this? Whoops. This is JLR's. I think we're going to start this case as well. It's interesting because Jen and I never talked about it, and she wants to stop that one too, or start looking at this one too. So let's watch this little one. This is Kentucky.
Vanished in the middle of the night. outside of Jackson, Kentucky, a very rural area, and a massive search is underway for this little boy. This is 10-year-old Jaden Spicer. He vanished from his home overnight, Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and Kentucky State Police have put out an alert. There's a massive search underway in a very rural area, lots of trees. I see a creek. It looks like a dead end going into a mountain. Oh my goodness. Reminds me of Summer Wells. Well, let me give you some information about this little boy and the search for Jaden Spicer. Check it out. All right, Trooper Gayhart with the Kentucky State Police Public Affairs Officer put out a urgent message here a few hours ago. Yep. Share missing juvenile, Jackson, Kentucky, August 6, 2025 at approximately 9:23 a.m. on Wednesday, right, August 6, 2025. Kentucky State Police Post 13 in Hazard received a 911 call regarding a missing juvenile in Bowl Branch Road area in the Jackson community. And is that Breathitt County? Breathitt County? KSP troopers and local search and rescue teams immediately responded to the scene and initiated a search of the surrounding area. Preliminary investigation indicates that 10-year-old Jaden Spicer is believed to have left his residence during the overnight hours or early morning. Jaden is described as a white male, approximately 5'1", with a slim build, blonde hair, blue eyes. He was last seen 9 p.m. Tuesday night, August 5th, at his home on Bowl Branch Road. He was last seen wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajama pants and a matching shirt. Anyone with information regarding Jaden Spicer's whereabouts is urged to contact the Kentucky State Police Post 13 in Hazard. 606-435-6069. This investigation is ongoing and is being led by Detective Nathan Rourke.
So we're going to keep watching. I want to look at this case. We're going to look at a couple of articles. But yeah, it's been reported now that mom has a history of abuse. She's served time for neglect. So it's not looking very promising for this little boy. Let's keep listening.
The detective on the case here. Okay, so I'm going to show you a map of this area. It's very rural outside Jackson, Kentucky. Check it out. This is Google Maps. We take you to Bowl Branch Road right here. It is a very, looks like it's a dead-end road, very rural area, Jackson, Kentucky. Jackson, Kentucky. So we take you to Kentucky. You can see here, Jackson, Kentucky. It is, here's the state of Kentucky. It looks like it is in the eastern area, very remote out there. So that's zero in here. Bowl Branch Road. It looks like it's off of highway.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I heard he was possibly autistic too, right?
Road 1812, and it looks like it goes into a dead end. Now, here's where the area looks like. Let's look at the area here. Oh, okay. We got it, rolling hills, trees. We got some, looks like some trailers in this area. Okay, what's going on here? Bowl Branch Road. Look at the neighborhood here. Let's zoom around. Let's see if we can go back a little bit just to see this general area. Looks like there's trees on both sides. It looks very narrow around here. Let's continue to look here. Looks like it goes way back into a dead end. Now, this is preliminary. I don't know the name of the parents right now. We'll try to get some information, but this kind of shows you the general area of this missing child, 10-year-old child. Road eventually looks like it gets very, very narrow back here. Let's continue to look. Let's continue to look. What in the world is going on here? Looks like, oh, looks like there's a creek going on the other side, on the left side. So that's we got this entire area here. We could take you into the back. We'll see what the back looks like. Back area here, Bowl.
Pretty remote, boys and girls. Boy, oh boy, pretty remote. Not good.
Doesn't let me go anymore. Doesn't let me go anymore. So we are like literally in the back here. but somewhere in this general area, this little boy is missing. And I don't see any ponds or lakes or streams in this general area.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know.
thing
That's
about
what I'm
this.
saying.
So we'll be looking into this
Prior to
more. Stay tuned on JLR Investigates. All right, folks. So we don't know anything about the parents at this time. We'll try to evaluate the situation. How does a little boy, 10-year-old, just vanish in the middle of the night? Did he walk out on his own? That's the information that's being put out there. We're going to continue to look into this. Keep this boy's face out there. Jackson, Kentucky. If you're out there watching, look for this little boy. This little boy needs to be found. We are praying that Jaden is okay. We're praying that he's just, exploring out there. And, sometimes these kids are curious. Unclear if he's autistic or anything like that. And there's no water around there that I've seen as far as lakes, ponds, and big water. So it will be interesting to see what happens here. We're going to be continuing to monitor the information. Sub to the channel, like, hit the notification button. Praying for the law enforcement and everyone out there searching for this little boy. When more information comes out, you'll hear it here on JLR Investigates. We'll talk soon. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a little bit of Sebastian too, right? Like went to bed in his pajamas. Like I mean, would he have gone to wander to look for his grandma in the middle of the night? It's not good. It's definitely not good. Let's get another one up. I don't know, man. This is also concerning. Here we go, Krista, for you. Mom posts this, which is also really curious. Doesn't want to be seen in public and posts this letter. Let's watch. This is Mike's video, Mike Damon's video on the letter mom writes, looking for her son, doesn't go in front of the camera, and instead writes a note to the public pleading for the return of her son, but won't show her face on camera. So also very curious.
Case. Jaden Spicer, missing. And thank you for sending this to me, this information. And it seems, let me see what you wrote, okay? It seems crazily, exactly, yes, that's what I'm going to point out right now. So Jaden Spicer, this little kid.
No, I didn't really follow Summer Case that much.
Missing from Kentucky,
I just
something
did
is very off. That's the message I've got.
On it.
Just want to get your thoughts. I'm questioning why mom didn't check on him for 12 hours. School started there today at 8 a.m. Why didn't she wake him earlier? How long has he actually been unaccounted for? Dense words and water nearby. Look at this note the mom gave law enforcement because she doesn't want her identity revealed. Something's very wrong here. Your child is missing. You don't want your identity revealed. That is
it's a little
unheard of.
yes,
case of an
unheard
innocent parent. It's completely unheard of. Why? Because she already anticipates a lot of hate mail. She knows already. She has a lot to hide. Okay, Jaden is a special needs child, waiting for more information, hearing and sight impaired. Okay, I'm trying to get the house number.
Hearing and sight impaired.
I can't get over the glue the right thing.
Special needs, hearing and sight impaired. Oh, God. This sounds like a drug addict mom lost custody, went to live with grandma. Grandma died, and mom got rid of the child.
And
it just sounds. Why was he sent back there is beyond me.
Okay, so I actually started replying to my friend. I wanted to actually
could be Krista.
Whatchamacallit.
But she's out, I think, now because he was living with her, right?
What am I doing here? What am I doing? Come on, people. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, it could be. It could be.
I think I have to clean my camera lens again. I hope that's not it this time.
It could be.
Can you guys see this?
No, I know what you meant, Hope. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry about the blurredness here, but I think you can see. We love Jaden and we want him safe at home. Who is we? And why not I? And why are you priority? We. That's priority. There's unity between you and the other parent. I don't know. I haven't read about the case yet, but this is very, very interesting. We love Jaden, and we want immediately. She wants to convince us that she loves him and that she wants him safe at home. That is a given. That is a given. You don't need to tell this when your child is missing. Of course, your concern is with the child. Please help me find Jaden. That is a concern. Everything is we. We love him. We want him home. We couldn't have hurt him because we love him and we want him safe. This
It's
indicates
wild.
at home,
It's very
then he wasn't safe
concerning,
at home.
Chris. I agree.
The home life was not a good
really
one. Please, if anybody see my son, Jaden Spicer, please report it to the Jackson police. Report it. What interesting choice of words to report it. What would you report? You would report a crime being committed, right? How would you word it if your son was missing? Please help me find my son and call police to let them know, bring him back to me, and so on. Report it. Finding her missing son would be she thinks about as it. What is it? Please bring him to me. Please call police immediately. Just report it. That's all you want from us? Hey, I have to report that somebody is whatever, unlawfully disposing toxic waste or something like. Report it to the Jackson Police Department. Thank you. We love him
there
again.
seems to be like some spelling error issues and stuff as well here. So, you know,
we love him
there
very
might
much.
be
She's trying to prove that shows
somebody
me
that's
that
not
there was something very wrong with the relationship.
literacy, you know.
Please do the right thing. This stands out to me as well. What do you mean the right thing? Why do you need to convince somebody to do the right thing? And what is the big deal about calling police? Of course, if I saw your son, you wouldn't have to tell me, do the right thing. What else am I going to do? Holy crap, here is Jaden. I got him. Yes, 911, please.
No.
The boy that is missing, Jaden Spicer, he's right here with me. Can you please come immediately? I'm keeping him, whatever. You know, he's sitting in my car having a sandwich. That's the kind of, what would be the right thing about that? Do the right thing is telling me the wrong thing is on her mind. She has done him wrong. So she is telling others, you should do the right thing. She's comparing it to something that she has done. Call the police. Please pray for us. Of course, this is just another Daniel Martel right here, right? I mean, that's the horrible writing and the, okay. Now listen to this. Please pray for us first, not me. They are in it together, husband and wife. I don't know, was it a stepfather? Let me find out a little bit more. So I have to be on this right now because I want to make sure that I get the information out to you guys before all the other channels will, you know, waste your time and make a bunch of false guesses. That's why I will do the right thing.
Did I spell his name correctly?
The first impression you get, the first impression is always very powerful.
Sure.
That's why first impression when it comes to people, first impression when it comes to, you know, anything that you don't know much about. And it's very easy to get off on the wrong track if you don't know anything about a case and somebody gives you false information. So let me see if I can get more on here in terms of the picture. I'm learning how to be more presentable to you guys. Okay. There's a lot more here. Should I go through it again? We love Jaden and we want, no, one moment. Missing person, Jaden Spicer, endangered missing child, age, wait a minute. Age 10, hair blonde, eyes blue, height 5'1", slim build. And here we go. At approximately 9:23 a.m. on Wednesday, August 6, 2025, Kentucky State Police, Post 13 in Hazard, received a 911 call regarding a missing 10-year-old juvenile in the Parental Ranch Road area in the Jackson community in Westland County, Kentucky. Jaden Spicer was last seen around 9 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5, 2025. They didn't report him missing for 12 hours. That whole night. What were they thinking? Oh, I guess he's gonna, you know, maybe in the morning. I don't know, he's 10 years old, right? I guess he's staying out late. I guess he's got a couple of clubs to go to and then, you know, he'll be up. He'll probably show up in school in the morning. Yeah, right. About 9 p.m. on Tuesday, August 5, 2025, at his home on Parental Branch Road. Jaden is believed to have left his residence during the overnight hours or early morning. Okay, so what she's trying to tell us is he was last seen. Okay, maybe she says her claim is she put him to bed And then he was last seen wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajama pants and a matching shirt. What else is missing? So are you saying that he wandered off in the pajamas? Anyone with information regarding is urged to contact Kentucky State Police. So I just read that he has special needs. Let me find what else is out there. But actually, here's his picture. It doesn't look good already for me, so sometimes I forget to treat this like, you know, this is him, Jaden Spicer. Sight impaired. He's supposedly sight impaired. So why did he leave out in the darkness? Did he have shoes on? What door did he leave from? Has he left before? Who lives with him? Yeah, and who is we? Very good question. Let me see. She didn't send me much more, but.
So if he was sight impaired, terrified of the day, yeah. So if he was sight impaired, would he not maybe know it was dark out? Was he trying to find his grandma? I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, although it doesn't feel like there's a lot of benefit to give here in this case. I'm going to show you the next one, and then if we want to go back to this, we will. But hang on. I put the wrong link. Jesus Louise. You know, I prepared last night, so I thought, oh, I'm okay. I don't need to worry too much to prepare, but I should have reviewed because apparently I was too tired last night. Because I want to pull up the video where Mom's, there it is, this morning, this is not great. This is not great.
Breaking news, breaking news. This is very important to get this information out. We're going to talk about a case of a 10-year-old boy who is missing. This is Jaden Spicer from Jackson, Kentucky. This is his mom. Her name is Felicia Spicer, aka Felicia Gross. The mom claims that this little boy vanished during the overnight hours of Tuesday into Wednesday morning and reported the little boy missing. The family reported the little boy missing, her and whoever reported the little boy missing early Wednesday morning. They lived at Pan Bowl Ranch Road in Jackson, Kentucky. This little boy to this day has still not been found. It's been over 48 hours now since this little boy's been reported missing, and possibly 60 hours since this little boy vanished, according to the family, including the mom. Now, let's talk about the mom here, because media is kind of talking about this case, but they're kind of not. Only a few reports out. But I do want to share that this information is very important for the public to know. The mom. The mom has an extensive criminal record. The mom has been arrested numerous times in the past for child endangerment, for wanton endangerment. It's a charge in Kentucky. I'm going to share what that means. But this information needs to get out because there are lots of people searching around the Jackson, Kentucky area, Pan Bowl Ranch Road, including Equifax volunteers. Kentucky State Police spoke about this case, but they don't want people really to go near the house where this little boy supposedly vanished on Pan Bowl Ranch Road. Now, let's share some criminal history on the mom here. I'm also going to share some news reports about this case because the little boy needs to be found, but the public also needs to know a little backstory on the mother. I don't know much about the father or stepfather, the other male occupant around, and don't know if others were around living in this trailer home on Pan Bowl Ranch Road. But I'm going to share this with you, and then we will further discuss. Check it out. According to AI Overview, wanton endangerment is a legal term describing conduct that creates a substantial risk of death or serious physical injury to another person, often involving a reckless and deliberate disregard for the safety of others. It's a criminal offense, and the severity of the charge, first or second degree, depends on the level of risk created and the potential harm. So, whoa, this is a charge in Kentucky used to
substantial risk of death or serious physical injury to another
Yeah,
person,
it's not
reckless
great
or
at
deliberate
all.
disregard for safety of others. Oh my goodness. She was charged with that back in 2018.
Yeah, mom's a drug addict for sure. Looks to me, for sure, in my opinion.
So I put this out
Yeah.
on my Twitter account at JLR Investigates. Make sure you follow me there for all the latest developments on Jaden Spicer. 10-year-old Jaden
From Jackson, Tennessee, vanished. Mom claims he vanished out of his home during the overnight hours Tuesday and a Wednesday morning.
Jaden Spicer is still missing from Jackson, Kentucky. His mom claims he vanished out of this home during the overnight hours of Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Where is he? And here's the house. Look at this. Look at this. This is the house where this little boy looks like some sort of possibly trailer. This is the house where this little boy vanished, according to the mom. Look, there's some sort of truck out there. Look at the truck. What in the world's going on here? An old truck. Then you got a red car. This totally reminds me of the Summer Wells case, as sad as it is. And, you know, I'm a straight shooter here. I'm calling it out as it is. You got a home here with a red car. Remember Summer Wells, Candace, red Subaru, and an old truck. Yeah, I'm getting Summer Wells vibes here. Look at this. So around this home, Campbell Branch.
Well, better condition than
Drive in
Summer
Jackson,
Wells' home
Kentucky.
and Jack
It's just so
Lilly's,
much
though.
woods and so much trees and hills back there, and like it looks like a holler. Looks like a holler. I'm gonna show you some more additional pictures. Check it out.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
A 10-year-old boy has been missing now for several hours in Breathitt County. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino spoke to state police this afternoon about this ongoing search.
Kentucky State Police are searching for a missing 10-year-old boy in the Jackson community of Breathitt County. Troopers say they received a call to Parental Branch around 9:30 on Wednesday morning. The boy, Jaden Spicer, is believed to have left his home in the late night or early morning hours. Kentucky State Police and Hazard, along with local search and rescue teams, responded to the scene and have initiated a search of the surrounding area. Troopers say Jaden was last seen on Tuesday around 9 p.m., wearing Sonic the Hedgehog pajama pants and a matching shirt.
Oh, well, he's a 10-year-old and he's out wandering what we believe to be by himself. So at this time, it's crucial that we try to locate him as quickly as possible.
So police here are also doing the Jack and Lilly thing. He's out there wandering by himself. They're not saying foul play, even despite mom's history. It's wild to me. What the TF?
Call 911 immediately. In Perry County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
Thank you, honey. I don't know how true it is, but
says they have been searching on foot with canines as well as using helicopters to search for Jaden, of course. News tonight for a missing 10-year-old boy in Breathitt County. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino has been in Jackson all day and has the latest.
Today is day 2 of crews searching for Jaden Spicer, the missing 10-year-old boy in Breathitt County. Crews have been on the ground since early Thursday morning, searching by foot with canines, helicopters, and sonar equipment.
So we have a lot of tools in place, and we're going to continue to search until our resources are exhausted.
As of Thursday, troopers say this is an open-ended investigation, meaning they are leaving every possible situation on
look
the
at the
table,
landscape.
investigating from several different
Unbelievable.
angles.
So as of right now, this investigation does not meet the qualifications for any type of alerts. It doesn't meet for an AMBER alert or an EN alert at this time. Without documented mental disabilities, it wouldn't qualify.
Troopers say while they
without documented mental instabilities, we have to change these laws. And I've said this before. An AMBER alert, I think, is when you know the specific car and person that took the child. Typically, one spouse versus the other kind of situation, in my experience. Why do we not have another alert? Endangered child alert or a missing child alert? Like, what the TF? Like, the number of kids that go missing and the lack of systems just blows my mind. Like, it just baffles the brain. It just is.
Jaden was kidnapped. They are still keeping it open as an option. Parental Branch Road has been monitored throughout the day, with crews allowing only authorized personnel access to the scene. However, the folks that live in that holler have seen them searching day and night tirelessly.
We saw all the the state polices and all that going up down the road. I mean, lots of them, and I guess they were
Sheriff,
detectives.
fire department, rescue people, and people from everywhere wanting to help.
While the neighbors say they did not know the boy personally, they had seen him and the family around a few times. Douglas said that he talked to who they say is Jaden's stepdad that morning.
He told me what had happened. But when they went to bed, everything was fine. When they woke up, he was gone. So they went searching, hollering, doing all they could, but finally called the police.
While Jaden's mother did not want to be on camera, she did provide a statement saying, "We love Jaden and we want him safe at home. Please, if anyone sees my son, Jaden Spicer, please report it to the Jackson Police Department. Thank you. We love him very much. Do the right thing. Call the police. Please pray for us and my son, Jaden."
The same objective, same goal as it has been from the start, to locate Jaden safely and bring him home.
KSP reminds people if you have any information on Jaden's whereabouts to contact 911 immediately. In Breathitt County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, so the family of Jaden Spicer put out this statement. They wanted it shared to the media and the public, and it was on a piece of paper here, handwritten. It says, "We love Jaden, and we want him safe at home. Please, if anyone see my son, Jaden Spicer, please report it to the Jackson Police Department. Thank you. We love him very much. Please do the right thing. Call the police. Please pray for yous and my son. Please pray for us and my son." It says yous. "And my son, Jaden, thank you." So this came out from the family. Who wrote this? Did the mom write this? Did someone, sounds like it looks like a kid wrote this. No disrespect, but I see a lot of grammar errors and things on it. Who wrote this? Let me know what you think. So as you see, I titled this video, "Mom Exposed." What do you think? Now that you get the information about the mom. Now, I'm not saying whatsoever at this point that the mom did something nefarious to this child. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the mom has a history of child endangerment and wanton endangerment, and let you decide. What do you think about that? Or do you think it's not relevant? Do you think this is not relevant at all? But this little boy needs to be found. And, you know, the volunteers and the searchers out there, they are the heroes out there that are scouring around the land, law enforcement. They put drones up. I have a bad feeling about this case. I have a bad feeling. And, you know, I don't know anything about the male occupant of the house, but I do know her. Now, she put a letter out. She put a letter out, but she doesn't want to come out and speak about it, right? She doesn't want to come out and search. She doesn't want to come out, the mom, and speak to media. She doesn't want to post anything on social media. She's just silent. And they gave a letter that I just shared with you. Like, that's it. And it doesn't even seem like she wrote the letter, but they're putting it out as if the family gave a statement. It could be a sibling or someone else in that house or something. But this is some scary stuff, folks. Share this video out. We're going to continue to cover.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems like no matter what, if a child is missing from home and her parents care, the house should be shut down. I just don't understand. I don't understand the lack of systems, you know? I don't understand. I'm just going to read this last article just to see if there's any other things that were missed by these other channels, and then search continues for missing Jackson boy you may have left home overnight. Jackson 56. It seems like these police officers always think they're missing. I guess they can't go in and suspect parents right away without cause. I get that, but and it's only been a couple days in this case, so I guess, you know. State police troopers and local search and rescue teams are asking for help finding a missing Jackson boy believed to have left home overnight or in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Troopers with KSP Post 11 in Hazard said they're looking for 10-year-old Jaden Spicer, who went missing from the Pan Bowl Branch Road area off Jackson Community. He was last seen around 9 p.m. on August 5th. Authorities said he does look like he has dark eyes. Authorities said Spicer was wearing blue Sonic the Hedgehog pajamas before he went missing. He's 5 foot 1 inches tall with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a slim build. On Thursday morning, August 7th, so yesterday morning, Britt Hitt County Emergency Management reported that the search for Spicer was continuing into the second day. Crews left the woods shortly after 3 a.m. on Thursday and returned after daybreak. Rescuers searched on foot by all-terrain vehicle, canine, drone, sonar, and helicopter more than 20 square miles in the area on Wednesday after Spicer was reported missing at 9:23 a.m., emergency management said. The search for the juvenile started at the daybreak on Thursday, and access to the Panbol branch will be controlled to prevent congestion on the one-laneway road so efforts are not impeded. Officials asked the public to avoid the area as rescue crews continue the search. As the search continues into the third day, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Breathe It County emergency officials affirm that they're working closely with KSP to ensure that all resources are devoted to the search for Jaden. On Friday afternoon, Kentucky State Police said all resources are being exhausted to find the 10-year-old boy. However, all priority areas have been thoroughly searched. State Police said the investigation will now be broadened. Kentucky State Police have utilized numerous agencies and partnership resources available, including aircraft, drone, canine, sonar, FLIR, boots on the ground, search efforts, Trooper Matt Gayhart. At this time, KSP will broaden its investigation, explore other areas in an effort to locate Jaden. Officials have asked no one enter the search area without authorization. So, y'all, we're going to start covering this case as well. And hopefully we don't have to cover it for long, and he's brought home, fairly soon. Let's go now. I'm just going to pull up my chat. Into Sebastian's. Not going to stay on much longer. I just want to show what I started researching here with Sebastian in possible areas. So I started to ask based on some readings and whatnot, and just whether or not it's possible. I'm not sure. Go back to the very top. I'm not sure that I am 100% convinced that Sebastian's in Alaska, but I definitely thought it was worth a shot. So I asked chat, please let me know if there are any residential schools for autistic kids in Alaska near the ocean working on missing Sebastian Rogers' case, because I picked up on the water with the visions I've had of him. So I get residential or therapeutic programs in coastal Alaska. 1, Bright Horizon Homes, Matsuit Valley near the ocean, offers residential and in-home support services for individuals with developmental disabilities, including autism, located in Wasilla within reach of coastal areas, provides day habilitation, residential service, respite care, and supported living for Alaska Medicare waiver recipients. And I'm just going to pull up that. I got to get an upgrade so I can share more than one screen without having to go back in and out. Who we are, Bright Horizon Homes provides developmental disability care, residential homes, and community-based waiver services to Alaska Medicaid waiver recipients in Mt-Su Valley. Our staff offers collectively over 50 years of experience of working with disabled individuals such as Down syndrome and autism care. Bright Horizon Homes strives to provide quality services, residential homes in Wasilla, Alaska. I'm just going to pull it up on the map. I think there might be a map below. Let's just see. No. I mean, this is a long shot, but I thought I would look at them. Again, I wish I could just have multiple screens up but down the road someday, so I don't have to go in and out, in and out. So here it is on the map. can't be it. Seriously? So it's a really small place. It almost looks like a private residence. Is that it? Yeah. So it's a pretty small place. Like it's almost like a residential housing community. Wild. Let me see if I can get a street view that shows the actual building. So it's off the beaten trail, but it's just a house. It's not like a big commercial building. Very interesting. And it's not far from the ocean. Look at that. Not far from Anchorage. I don't know where. Let me pull up the maps that Jen has. Will they hide a child? I know. This is interesting. I know, Krista. That's the thing. This is why I think it's a big stretch. It's a stretch. But I just look at, like, right now we're still trying to find them, and it's a stretch. I get it. But let's just see where the Sebastian's lines go. Do I have Sebastian's lines here? Just gonna. Yeah, there we go again. Okay. Now let me just get the map back up. Oh my God. The line goes just north of Anchorage. Not quite not quite the exact area. Just looking for that town again's name. Wasilla. So right here. Right in here, Wasilla. I don't know what line to look for. What's the lines I'm looking for? Hold on, I've got, okay. What am I trying to find? Wow, so we have some lines that go right through this home. I don't know if any of Sebastian's go through. I don't know. We're going to have to talk to Jen about this. This is Eric Craddock's Palace in Aquarius Square, Poseidon and Libra. Wake up call with groups. Wisdom is found here. Secret Service, Hades, and Aquarius. I don't know, y'all. I had no idea there was a line that went through there. I just started searching. Full body chills. You think? It's very remote. Like, I thought a commercial building. Like, that's a private residence where somebody could be getting paid. Sure, wow, that line is in Alaska. I know. I know. I don't know what the line means. Is that water river lines on the blue line? Water river lines. I don't think so, but I don't know what you mean by that. Let me just see if I can. I'm going to go to family or parents. Let's see if Katie or anybody shows up. Whoops, I did it again. No KP. Damn. This thing is so finicky. Yeah, I'm just very interested now that a line goes right through that exact place. And it's not a big, that was my top choice just because I keep seeing him, like visions of, like I had that vision of him playing. Lucilla. That's concerning now. I am concerned now. I am concerned. I don't know what you mean about the line, honey. You don't know what to think? I know, honey. I don't know either. I mean, we'll talk to Jen about it. But okay, I'm gonna go to another residential. Okay, let me go to Alaska Child and Family. I'm just reading it. Alaska Child and Family operates residential psychiatric treatment across Alaska, including Anchorage near the coast. Programs are designed for youth needing intensive round-the-clock care. They may not be autistic specific, but serve behavioral population. Let's pull this out. Let's pull this one out. Seeking therapeutic treatment, parents with passions for helping learn the skills needed to live healthier, more successful lives. Residential services, admission, starting services. So this is in, I'm going to get the address. Like this, I don't know if this is another leadership. So this looks like a much bigger organization. It's got a whole leadership team, a board of directors. So this doesn't seem as plausible. Let me pull up the address and get pictures of the building, but let me just see. This doesn't seem as plausible. There were two blue lines going over the one of the rivers. Those rivers were not blue, maybe freeways. I don't know, honey, but we can go back there if you want. I'd like to see what Jen says looking at these. We can go back there if you want. I just kind of wanted to zoom in and see the ones that chat pulled up and see if we could narrow it down. And I think we're narrowing it down, starting to narrow it down, because I'm going to go to the map now if I could get the address. Okay, here it is. 4600 Abbott Road, Anchorage, Alaska. Because I just, I have a feeling there's probably only a couple that would service. Oh my, okay, yeah, this one looks like, let's see. This looks like, no. I'm trying to get a view of these buildings, you know? Yeah, see, this is a much bigger, this is this whole campus here. This is the whole campus. Oh, you're not even able to see. Jesus, Murphy. It's too many having to stop. So this is it. This is the second one. It's a whole campus here. Look. It's the whole campus. So that one I'm going to rule out. I'm going to rule that one out because it's a whole campus. Okay. Now we've got the next one is Easter Seals, Alaska. Offers in-home services, day habilitation, respite, community-based living options for autistic children. Services are individualized but do not specify residential placements based across the state, including coastal regions. Let's go here for the next one. I think we're going to go I have a feeling we're going to go back to the first one. And at Easter Seals, Alaska, we provide a variety of children's services. Let me just make sure that you can actually see it since I failed to do that last time. Most of the children's services are custom designed based on the individual needs of the child. These programs may be funded through Medicaid waiver, Medicaid private insurance, or private pay. Please call our office for further details. Okay, let me get the building. Available to children up to 18 years old. Didn't Chris say something about children like at 18 or something he would show back up? Okay, so it's Fireweed Lane, Anchorage. Fireweed Lane, Anchorage. Let's go to that one. Okay, trying to zoom in. There's so many that have pulled up. Man, oh man. I don't know. Let's just narrow it. I'm just going to narrow it down, but yeah, we can start to look. Look at this, right at the coast. This one is right. Easter Seals, Alaska. This one is right on the coast. But where did it go? Hello. Why are so many markers coming up? I just want Easter Seals. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. So if we zoom in, it's also a big building. Look at, can you see? It's a big, this building right here. This building right here. So this one's definitely out too. The first one's really got my attention though, because it's a private home. Because I'm thinking like, who is going to hide a child? But assuming it was more like a big residential building like that. But that first one's a private residence. That's concerning me now. Okay, here's the last one. According to ChatGTP, state-funded RCC, residential care for youth, children and youth, provides therapeutic short-term residential care, emergency shelter, or diagnostic treatment for youth with behavioral challenges. Eligibility is broad, not autistic specific, and scope depends on available grant funding programs. Coastal availability may vary, but this is run by the state. So I highly think it's this one, but you know, the state, you know, who knows? Okay, so we're gonna go here. This is Juneau, Alaska. Oh my God, didn't Jen say something about Juneau, Alaska? Oh boy, I think she did. Whoa, okay. So there's the building here. Now it's a big building. It's got a whole, it's a big building too. Can you all see it? Or did I? It's a big building here. I think it's likely, more than likely, the first one, because there's a big building here too. Personally, you don't think it would be possible to be hidden away like this. I don't think so either, but that first house is interesting. I remember he he's saying that about Seth returning at 18. I know, this is it. I know. So I just, it's interesting. I think I'd probably want to go to the first one, but then Juneau also came up on the map. I'm pretty sure Juneau comes up on the map. Let me go to Sebastian's map, because I'm pretty sure. Where's Juneau? I'm trying to find Juneau, Alaska. There it is. Okay, so where is that? So there's Juneau. Let's see if any of the lines go through. I don't see any lines, but I don't know if they've got the, there we are. Jeez. Definitely behaves differently when you are not the owner of the program, I think, or I just don't know how to use it. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong and it wasn't Juneau. I thought there was something on Juneau, but maybe I'm wrong because I don't see anything on Juneau here. Well, y'all, I think we're gonna wait for Jen to go through some of those, but I am interested in looking at the schools a little bit more in Alaska, because especially that first one, Y'all, I haven't been talking to the chat as much lately, especially to work in these maps, because it's just hard to manage. So I appreciate you all being here, and I'm sorry if I didn't address you in the last couple of nights. But anyways, it's a lot to maneuver, especially if you knew what was going on in the background. So listen, look out for videos tomorrow. I'm doing 4 videos. I'm doing Crystal. Hang on, let me tell you what I'm doing. Oh yes, I think Kitty, you said that the card that I pulled was I don't know if she's still here. Was the Crossroads, but I don't think the card being named Crossroads and their street being Crossroads, I think that's just a coincidence, but I mean, I could look into that. So what I'm going to do, if I can pull up my agenda here, is I'm going to do I've got what will Austin's prison experience look like, Austin Drummond, okay? Because he had it very luxuriously before. A jumpsuit. Pablo has, often talked about what criminals' jail experiences look like. So I'm going to do one reading on that just for something different. Amy Bradley, I want to start looking at that as a cold case. I'm going to look at just the tarot reading on Jack and Lilly, 10 hidden tarot clues. And I want to start looking at some of these homes, the residential schools for Sebastian. So I'm going to do 4 readings tomorrow. We are going to do a members live on Sunday, and I might come on tomorrow night, just look at because a lot of creators are talking about notification bells not going up. And for anybody that's new, welcome, thank you, because we've had some new subscribers lately. I'm sorry I didn't address that at the beginning. It kind of got thrown off at the beginning. You're welcome, Krista. I appreciate you all for coming in. And just remember, to just check the notification bells because I'm going to do a live Q&A. It'll either be tomorrow or Sunday where you can bring all your questions because a lot of you guys start asking me questions. Can you ask this? Can you verify this in the reading after the fact? And it's hard for me to verify after the fact because I get between all the emails and the text, it's too much to try to maintain. I'm not trying to maintain it. Your questions are great, but if you show up to the Q&A, I'm going to answer your questions on the Q&A, okay? So that'll be either tomorrow or Sunday, as will the members live, and we'll do, I'll do one of the two, or if not both nights live. So just the best thing to do is to go to the home page and see if there's an upcoming reading or a live coming up. So there will be stuff posted tomorrow and Sunday for sure. So be on the lookout. And for sure, a members live, likely Sunday. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but it'll be this weekend for sure. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate you being here. I'm just learning how to do, so thank you for your patience. I'm just learning how to, look at the graphs and charts and use those in tandem with what I'm getting hit psychically. And I'm also learning how to do YouTube outside of tarot, right? So I'm really not familiar with all of the research that a lot of these other channels where they get their information. So bear with me as I try to really get better at that so I can bring you things that are unique and not just regurgitated stuff from other channels. Other than the tarot and the astrology, obviously that's unique to this channel, with Jen being here with the astrology. But in the tonight stuff, yes, I'm combining astrology and the charts and stuff, but I'm trying to do more research. So, thank you, Chris. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. Yeah, I'd appreciate, you can, thanks, Chris. If you want to do any research, you can email me. I wish there was a clue or something physical that would point us in the right direction. I know, but that's what we're trying to do. But I'm trying, I can see how the graphs give me a focus, if that makes sense, like a baseline, like the charts, the astrology charts, give me like a baseline from which I can get some points of reference so I can start to tap into the energy or research a little bit more. And how they work in conjunction. I'm still just trying to figure it all out. So, but I'm hoping, Becky, that by going back to Sebastian from the beginning, because, again, I really trust, and it's not to toot my own horn, I'm just being honest about it. I think I'm being pretty accurate with Jack and Lilly. Some of the things I called 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, are coming out now. But I don't think I was that accurate with Sebastian because of a lot of the trauma. I had TMJ. I still get a little bit of it at the odd time, but for the most part, it's gone. And I just don't think I was channeling as accurately as I am now. And I don't know that the readings were as accurate. So I just thought it's just worth me starting over again since he hasn't been found, seeing if I get different insights, different visions. And that's why we're starting Sebastian all over again. And of course, this is what we're doing with the charts as well with Jen. So it's a new approach to do both for me. And it's also a new approach to try to research, which I haven't really, to be honest with you, had a lot of time for, because it's a lot of time to do all this. Not complaining, I like it, but I'm also trying to work on my deck and write and walk and all that stuff. So Donna S. mentioned Maplewood. Donna who? Who's Donna S? Thank you, sweetie. Not always, but that's why I just. Who's Donna S? And I don't know. Maplewood. What did I miss? Maplewood? Is that the name of one of the ones we just looked at? What's that? You guys have to remember, this is why it's frustrating, because it's so hard for me to focus already with my ADHD, but when you're trying to go back and forth. Oh, Saphira, thank you. Maplewood. Okay, well, where did you see Maplewood? And also when I go back, thank you. Okay, thank you. Donna S. Saphira mentioned Maplewood. I know who she is now, but where did you see Maplewood, honey? Because I also have one of the reasons I want to walk more. My dad's come in and warned me about my heart. I've been getting chest pains. And and really I have to worry about my health, and I have really poor memory. I always have had a poor memory, but it is concerning with my dad having dementia at such a young age. So you got to remember, like when I'm in the chat and I go back to look at your comment, it's also delayed, the comment, even though I have it off delay in YouTube, there's just a natural delay. And so I can very, very rarely remember what the hell I just said and what your answer is speaking to. So, but I don't know, where did she mention, Deborah, if you can, where did she mention, where is this Maplewood that you just saw? Did we just see a street named Maplewood, y'all? Can you just answer that for me before we go? Yes. Where did we see it? Yeah, it's really bad. So it's like I actually started working on memory, like games on my phone and exercises with my dad because it just scares me. What case? Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what she meant about Maplewood, Deborah. I don't know where you saw Maplewood. I think she's like, I don't know where. And that's the other thing when you guys comment. If I don't know if you're in like the chat before, I don't know if the comment is like real time. It was in Maplewood. Okay, but what, honey? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you got to be so specific. There was a street that one of those houses that you saw was on Maplewood. I didn't remember seeing Maplewood. Let me just pull it up. Okay, so the second one, look up the church. Oh, yeah, I have the nonprofit church ones. Hang on, let me go up. I forgot to finish that off. Okay, so the second one, AK, Child and Family. Thank you for updating me, sweetie. I appreciate that. Jesse Lee and Maplewood campuses. That's what you're saying? Jesse Lee, hang on, I'll show you. Sorry. Jesse Lee and Maplewood campuses. That's the part you're talking about right in here. Yeah, okay. And you think this would be a one? Like, it's such a big building. It seems like somebody would have a hard time hiding him here. Because this is a big building. Jesse Lee and Maplewood campuses. So they have more than one location. That right? That means there's more than one location. Let me see if I can find out. Okay, oh yeah, I forgot the church one. Okay, so now, okay, yes. So here, let me just share let me just finish. Okay, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to note that. Thank you, Deborah. I'm going to note that for Jen, and we'll talk about that. I'll go back to the chat because I did forget to share the rest of the chat. Residential therapeutic programs, private or near Alaska. Okay, so there was this one. Oh, private. So AK Child and Family also offers this. Okay, so private, if it's not state run, I think private is probably more likely. Offers a private family-centered services in Alaska. Residential treatment center with Midnight Sun Academy offers private therapeutic residential programs. 12 to 18 includes one on-site year-round school supported by special education staff and related therapies like speech, occupational, and physical therapy. This is a different one. This isn't explicitly autism focused, but is structured and supportive with education integrated residential programs. So there's a different one that I didn't go to. Let's look at this one. There's a big one though. That's a big one. I mean, I feel like it's more likely to be a small building. Where is the address? Okay, let's look up Fairbanks, Alaska. This is also a pretty big. Oh, hey, Kaika, are you in here, honey? I didn't. Okay, so there's this one too. This is this one. I don't know. I of all of them. Thank you, honey. Of all of them, I think the first one is more interesting, but I'm going to keep going here. I'm reading the second one. This is the second one. AK Child and Family. Again, this is a separate category, psychiatric residential treatment. While not private or church affiliated, this structured trauma-informed residential setting provides individualized treatment, educational support on campus or mainstreamed, and behavioral therapies Anchorage. On campus or mainstreamed. Hang on a second. So that implies, back to the AK, that implies on campus or mainstream. That sort of implies, and tell me if you're reading it that way, that potentially private residence? No way, sweetie. Were you? Oh, weren't you and I on the same wavelength? Did you find anything new? Let me read you. Thank you, sweetie. So yeah, so listen, now I've got Cherry Gulch, Idaho, not Alaska. So forget that one. Private schools and day schools. I'm just going to show you what it said. Okay, thank you, Kaika. That's wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, honey. Okay, let's read this. This is, here are some private or religiously affiliated day schools in Alaska with special program emphasis. Anchorage Waldorf School, PK to grade 8, so we're probably not looking at that. The first three are all younger kids. PK to 12, K to 12, 7 to preschool. I don't know. These are all, seems to be for younger kids. What do you think? Dolphin, that's just your opinion, honey. You're entitled to your opinion. But I'm not so sure right now if that's the case. Okay, let me go back up. I'm just going to read what we've got, and then summary and best fit for Sebastian. Best at this point, FCSA's RTC with on-site schooling, Midnight Sun Academy. Seems the most likely match, providing a private structure, residential environment, and educational support. The next best summary fit for Sebastian is AK Child and Family. Excellent structure and therapy, though not private or church affiliated. Cherry Gulch, highly specialized for autism, but located out of state in Idaho. I mean, we can try Idaho too. Day schools like Holy Rosary Academy, Anchorage, Waldorf, or Pacific Northern Academy. I don't think day schools would be it. Reach out to FCSA to determine if Sebastian meets criteria for their residential therapeutic programs. If you prefer school-based environments with behavioral accommodations, contact the day schools listed above to ask about the ability to support behavioral needs, especially looking into any special education services. If private residential support remains necessary and you're open to out-of-state options, consider Cherry Gulch for autism focus. So then I asked, are any near the ocean and connected to the church? I wasn't able to locate any residential or school programs in Alaska that are both church affiliated and located near the ocean. While serving independent children with behavioral support, here's what did or did not come up. What chat found. Jesse Lee Home for Children in Seward was once a residential program run by the United Methodist Church and located near the ocean, but it was demolished as of November 2020 and is no longer operational. I didn't find any active church affiliated residential school or programs delivering behavioral or special education support in the coastal communities in Alaska. What exists but not a direct match, several Christian faith-based addiction recovery centers in Alaska, such as Teen and Adult Challenge in Wasilla, there we go, Alaska Dream Center, Palmer, and Set Free Alaska, Homer, include residential services with spiritual components, but they're primarily intended for substance abuse treatment, not autism or behavior school. Those programs are not designed for children like Sebastian and may lack necessary behavioral support structures. Okay, so maybe not that. Alaska's Department of Health is listed a residential program mostly for substance abuse. No. Options to consider non-religious but coastal. So yeah. Non-religious but coastal. Yeah, that's kind of the way I would go. For example, programs in Juneau, Sitka, or the Kenai Peninsula may offer the setting you're looking for. Day schools with religious affiliation near the ocean. Consider private or church-associated day schools in coastal communities, even if they're not residential, that offer special education services and behavioral support. Widen the scope if the church affiliated setting is priority, but location flexible. If possible, you might explore boarding schools affiliated with church communities. Then they've got a graph here that shows no direct matches, coastal residential, no church, possibly unverified, may exist, need deeper search in specific areas. Jesse Lee Home for Children in Seward was once a residential program run by United Methodist Church and located near the ocean. It was demolished as of November 20, is no longer operational. Where did they move to? You're absolutely right. Here's the clear historical path for Jesse Lee Home for Children. Unalaska, established in 1890 as Jesse Lee Home and School, initial site of the Methodist Mission for Displaced Children. Seward moved in 1925, 1926, chosen for its access as Alaska's largest port, served as residential school until the 1964 earthquake. Anchorage, post-earthquake relocation. Following severe damage in 1964, the Methodist woman purchased 25 acres in South Anchorage, and the program was relocated there in 1996. Oh my God. Guess which one that is? AK. Look. AK. AK. I just clicked the link and it opened to AK. Okay, so now of all these, those two are my top interest. AK, let's just see. I'll pull up Kaika's email and see here, honey. freedombhs.com, mental health services in Eagle River, Alaska, dedicated to providing innovative treatments and removing barriers to care, empowering free your mind. Results with church, Freedom Behavioral Home, Freedom Behavioral Hospice. Hey, you came back, sweetie. Donna, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be bitchy. I really don't mean to rag on you in front of everybody. It feels like it's being critical of me when I read it that way, which is embarrassing for me in life. So that's why I apologize. I'm glad you came back. I do love you. You and I just somehow kind of, when we talk in chat, have maybe a very similar vibe Freedom Church. Yeah. Freedom Behavioral Health Solutions. Anchorage, Alaska. Let's go look. Freedom Behavioral Health Solutions, Anchorage, Alaska. Okay, is that why the Bowerstocks went to Alaska? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go to the map here. I mean, it could very well be. It could very well be. Thank you, Kaika, honey. This is Freedom. Our mission is to make mental health care accessible and transformative for everybody. We're dedicating to providing innovative treatments and removing barriers to care, empowering you to free your mind and make the most of every moment. Born in vibrant city of Austin, Texas. Raised in culturally rich environment of El Paso, Cynthia Barresa Guerra proudly embraces her Mexican heritage and holds family close to the heart. They have nearly 2 decades of diverse healthcare experience. Professional path. I would just want to go to the About Freedom. Hang on. Medication management, therapy. I mean, support. Oh my God. Did you see what I'm seeing on the screen? Support for military families and veterans. Well, I'm starting to wonder, and he also said when he's 18. Support for military families and veterans. At Freedom Behavioral Health Solutions, we're committed to providing specialized care for military families and veterans. Our services are designed to address the unique mental health challenges faced by those who serve and their families, including PTSD treatment. I don't know if it would have been something where Sebastian would have been, though. I don't know. Is this specifically? Let's just see who they service. I looked at specifically homes for autistic children. I don't know. Welcome to Freedom Behavioral Solutions, where compassion meets transformation. Established in the heart of Manhattan, KS in January 2024, we are pioneer behavioral health business committed to fostering positive change in the lives of individuals, families, military members, and veterans. Our mission is to make mental health care accessible and transformative for everybody. I mean, I don't think Sebastian fits this, though. Our mission is to make mental health care accessible and transformative for everybody. We are dedicated to providing innovative treatments and removing barriers to care, empowering you to free your mind and make the most of every moment. Life is short. Brainwaves, DTMS, is advanced treatment approved for depression using transcranial magnetic solution. The other one is a breakthrough treatment suffering from treatment-resistant depression. Innovative therapy using virtual augmented reality to address anxiety, phobias, and other mental health issues. Comprehensive support for families, couples, and individuals focusing on behavioral, building strong relationships, and promoting mental health. Expert supervision and adjustment of psychiatric medications. I just don't think this one fits Sebastian, but unless they were sending him, unless they were, you think, honey? Unless they were sending him here for treatment from the SA that occurred to him, right? Maybe it wasn't for autism since he's pretty high functioning. Maybe for treatment, maybe it was under the guise that he was sexually assaulted and this was a treatment for that. I mean, okay, let's go to the next one that Kaika sent. Let me just see. Did I get them all? I want to make sure I got all of them. In this first email that you sent me, honey? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we've got at-risk evaluation. Patient is potentially or actively dangerous to self or others or property with the need for controlled environment requires 24-hour medical supervision due to acute mental health depression. Patient is gravely disabled due to inability to care for self, related to hallucinations, delusions, agitation, anxiety, depression. So that's where I'm not sure that I think this would be for Sebastian, but here we go. Adolescent services. Our adolescent services are specifically designed to address the unique mental health needs of teenagers, providing them with a safe and supported environment to work through emotional, behavioral, or psychiatric challenges. Well, I guess CP and KP would say there's emotion that he has behavioral issues, right? Well, this is just it, and they would argue he has behavioral issues. So maybe under that premise, right? Adolescents are treated by a multidisciplinary team that includes psychiatrists, therapists, and specialized staff who focus on family involvement and age-appropriate therapeutic interventions. Our adolescent program offers a continuum of care that includes comprehensive assessment, individualized treatment plans, individual and group therapy, family counseling, and education support. Our objective is to help young people gain the coping skills they need to successfully navigate life challenges while improving overall emotional well-being and fostering long-term resilience. Adult services. Did I just read that one? I know. Comprehensive continuum of care services. Treatment and services are offered to individuals experiencing acute psychiatric disorders, illnesses, or in danger of harm to self, harm to others, or are gravely disabled. In an attempt to provide services or at least restrictive levels of care, the organization office follows a programming service range which includes the following: inpatient hospitalization, partial hospitalization, program referred out, an intensive outpatient service referred out. Admission to any level of care is indicated by the uniform application of the level of care criteria. All levels of care are inherent in the ongoing assessment, treatment, discharge planning, therapy, and community continuing care following through. And therapy and community continuing care follow through. The intensity of service provision depends on admission criteria and the needs for the patient's families. Wow. So I mean, this could very well. I am starting to really feel like this. I'm not getting a vibe about a specific home yet. I'm not, but I am starting to really feel that this, especially now. Donna, are you still here, honey? I don't know if Donna came and left or what. I am getting a vibe that this is a distinct possibility, especially just learning now. If they have out programs, that would be like me being an advocate and bringing in a child into my home, like group homes exist here in Canada, which wouldn't be necessarily as regulated. I just got full on goosebumps when I said that. I just got full on goosebumps when I said that. So, oh, I got full, like my whole body is fully lit up now. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Donna. Again, my apologies, sweetie. I don't mean to be like that. I just get so fucking defensive when I think I'm being attacked because I just, I owe you an apology. I'm sorry, sweetie, for responding that way instead of asking. It just felt like it was like you were talking to me and I was embarrassed about it. So I'm sorry I reacted that way. Well, this is just it. This is just it, you know? We don't really know. Or maybe somebody like being paid. If it's a private home, maybe being okay, and I got like ringing in my ears right now, maybe being paid to be quiet. Yeah. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I'm sorry. Someday we're gonna meet. I'm gonna hug you and buy you something for all my friggin'. I don't know. It's just in chat. It's like weird. Off chat, we're fine. In chat, it's like I think it's your directness is like my directness is like I was. Ooh, it's like it's meant to be in coaching. It's we call it in coaching we call it the projector and the projectee. Like it's triggering me because I've got unresolved issues about being criticized. You know what I mean? Like it's triggering me because my unresolved issues. So it's highlighting my need to fix it. So thank you for that. Anyways, I definitely want to go down more in this Alaska route, guys and gals. Like I just, like I said at the beginning, I completely dismissed it for whatever reason. It just, at the moment, it just didn't feel plausible. But they were, you know, Jen reminds me because she's friends with Seth, right? That they were looking into residential schools before he disappeared. So did they just say, F it, because Seth wouldn't approve any of them? We're sending him anyways because we've got this whole custody thing with Faith coming up and Chris needs him gone and we got CPS springing down our neck and he is being inappropriate or whatever their excuse was for his inappropriate behavior. And now that Seth wasn't involved, that's kidnapping or that's an illegal action. So now we make up the story. I don't know. I'm just saying it's super interesting to me now that I see, because I, in my head, like all you guys, was, I guess, initially going, who's going to hide a child in a school program when you're like, you'd be liable. You would be liable. How? And I think I just immediately just cut off the potential thinking like an organization is not going to do that. Like an organization is not going to hide a child from a parent. Like it's been all over the news. But if it's a private residence and they're being extra money is being shuffled their way and God knows what they told exactly. Well, this is it. This is my point, you know? And now that we've gone through and seen the fact that they're running private out of a residential programs in a private family home, it's way more interesting. It's way, yeah. And I got full on, I gotta show you, like I got full on, like my legs, all of my legs, my whole body is full on goosebumps as I'm talking about this. I'm just, the things people do, like look at Austin. Well, who was it? No, who were we thinking about? Who was it that got into trouble? Who was it that got into trouble? Oh, never mind. It's a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing. But I think it's worth exploring. I think it's worth exploring. And then Jen, I don't want to speak too much because she's not here and I don't want to take anything out of, context. But again, Jen and I have been like, we work behind the scenes and text each other screenshots. And she said, I'm getting more interested in Alaska. And basically, and I just, yeah, so, and no offense to anybody religious, but the churches aren't exactly, always all that freaking innocent in the care of children, let's just say, Canada being an example of all the kids that were brought and murdered in residential schools. Yeah, generations ago, but the point is the church ain't so innocent in the care of kids sometimes, So nothing anymore would surprise me, I guess. Nothing would shock me anymore. And if money's involved, people would do a lot of strange things for money. In the case of my dad, for instance, when the police called me to say, look, we know what happened. We know with 1,000% certainty that they screwed your dad. But the chances of getting it convicted is about 1%, right? And he said, look, 75% of the crimes that we see are what money related. 75% of the crimes would go away if people had a different attitude around money. That's a serious number of crimes that people are willing to commit for money. So just nothing would surprise me, you know, nothing. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. So listen, it's 3 hours and 22 minutes in. It's Friday night. If anybody's new here, and I forgot to mention you, I welcome you all in. If, you know, keep looking for tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to put up 4 readings, and we're going to do 2, maybe 3 lives this weekend. So just keep looking for the notifications. Treatment clinic I looked up a year and a half ago, never went out of my head. Will send you that. I have a strong feelings about emails, especially for additives. Oh, no way. Okay, do that please too. And yeah, so I appreciate that, Kike. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for being here, and love you all. And like I said, look out for the 4 readings tomorrow and 2 lives and a members live this weekend. Okay, love and light, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for being here.